All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for waiting patiently for the intro to do what it does. Yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. We have quite a bit to discuss today, and obviously we're talking once again about the situation going on with Microsoft. And I know that some people, myself included to a certain extent, kind of tired of hearing about it. Seems like it's just going on and on and on. But I figured it would only be fair for me to keep you guys in the loop and let you know at this point in time what's being said by insiders or people in the know, because there are very much conflicting reports. There are now insiders backtracking. There are people saying that this isn't happening. Then there are other people saying, no, this is happening. And then there are other people that are kind of just flip-flopping all around and seemingly have no idea what's going on. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that because we are going to be getting the official update from Microsoft maybe tomorrow, but certainly in the coming days. And so again, in order to just maintain fairness and make sure that regardless of what is announced and what people end up being told, that at least when they come back to if they decide to come back to this channel and look at my streams and look at my content coverage, I just want to make sure that it's not just picking and choosing the rumors. You know what I mean? I want to make sure we cover the whole gamut here. I think that's pretty important. So rest assured, that's not the only thing we're going to be talking about today. We're also going to be talking about Helldivers 2. Watch it be on Friday. Yeah, that would be insane. So it turns out you're actually waiting 2 weeks. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Helldivers 2. I've been playing this game pretty extensively, and it's really, really fun. Like, Helldivers 2 is exactly what I expected it to be. A little bit more difficult than I was expecting. I mean, I knew that there was like a big emphasis on teamwork regarding Helldivers 2, but I guess I underestimated just like how important it is for your team to like really work together and know what you're doing, because it's just funny, like when you're learning the ropes, and I still am, you just, just takes one mistake. Mini Tom, you're saying you're also wearing an AC/DC t-shirt. That's awesome. Yeah, I found this shirt recently, or I should say Mrs. MBG found this shirt recently. We were cleaning out the closet, reorganizing, and I've had this shirt for so many years, and I finally found it after all this time. So we're going to be talking about Helldivers 2. We're going to be talking about, believe it or not, the PlayStation 6. There's a really interesting rumor regarding the PlayStation 6. I did cover it in a video, but I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth here. We're talking about PlayStation 5 games. We have updates for Death Stranding 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Stellar Blade, and Silent Hill 2 Remake. And we are also going to be talking about some Switch 2 rumors, because the rumor mill is really beginning to heat up regarding the Switch 2. What was that song I was playing in the intro? God, I never remember the names of these songs. I wish I could tell you. I have so many different songs that I play, I lose track of them. Like the names of them anyway. Yeah, I saw that, Irfan. Kojima Productions filed a trademark for Fizzant. Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into any of these topics, and before we dive into any of the news and discussions, I do want to just thank you guys once again for tuning in. I want to let you guys know a couple of ways you can support my content. First and foremost, just being here watching the content helps tremendously. If you're watching live, thank you. You guys are awesome. If you're watching after the fact, really appreciate that as well. Make sure you utilize the timestamps from Devil Shooter. I also just want to take a second to ask you guys to please hit that like button. We're almost at 100 likes already, which is incredible to see. Thank you guys so much. Liking the stream not only just lets me know you enjoy the content, but more importantly, it gets it out there in front of new viewers. I'm sure you've seen that we've seen an uptick in subscribers, and that's because of you guys hitting the like button, showing your support. YouTube, the algorithm is picking up on that, and it's putting the content out there in front of more people, and because of that, we are growing this community. So thank you guys for that. Now, 3 ways you can support my content directly. Number 1, become a channel member. You gain access to some exclusive perks, including the Members Lounge. We have a special Members Lounge today, guys. All right. I probably should have made this announcement earlier, and I'll probably talk about this a couple more times throughout the stream. What I'm going to be doing today is playing with members. I'm going to be playing Helldivers 2 with members in the Members Lounge. Okay. So if you are a channel member and you've been kind of waiting for this opportunity to hopefully get a chance. Now, I have to make it clear really quick. I can't guarantee that if you're a channel member, I'll be able to play with you, okay? It's just the reality of it. We have so many channel members. I don't necessarily have a system here. I know that the way it works on Helldivers 2 is you basically input a friend code. So, you know, I'll try to play with as many people as I can. But either way, if you are a channel member and you are playing Helldivers 2, look forward to that. You're saying let the donators play first. That's what I was thinking. Like, there are certain people on the channel who have donated a lot, like who fund this channel in a big way. Obviously, if that's a request they have, we're like, hey, can I play around with you? Like, yeah, I'm gonna let them do that. I think everybody could understand that. But generally speaking, I want to try to just make it as random as I can, because I feel like that's the most fair way to do it. Generally speaking, why not Foam Stars? Because I'm not playing Foam Stars, to be honest. So, but yeah, just keep that in mind. That's what we're going to be doing in the Members Lounge after today's regular stream. The second way you can help support my channel directly and help this community out is by gifting memberships. I want to give a big shout out to Prince Smith, who's kicking us off today by gifting a membership. Prince Smith, thank you so much for that, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, this is a huge thing we do on the channel. You guys have been consistently gifting memberships and supporting not just me, but the community itself, and growing that membership community, and, you know, giving people access to that Members Lounge, which I know they really appreciate. So thank you guys so much for that. And last but not least, you can consider donating, gifting a super chat. Donating a super chat. You can ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. It all helps tremendously. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. Now, with that being said, I have a super chat here from King Sam. Really appreciate that, buddy. You're saying, hey, MBG, I beat Death Stranding 43 hours. No desire to do all the side content. Really good game. Turns out delivering packages can be really engaging and a great story. How does Kojima come up with this stuff? Well, King Sam, I'm actually really, really happy to hear that. For those who aren't aware, King Sam was really unsure if he even wanted to give Death Stranding a shot. And he decided to go for it. He liked it, and now he put 43 hours into it and completed it. So that's awesome to hear, man. And I think it's totally fine if you're not up to doing all the side content. It's definitely not necessary, I think, to get the full Death Stranding experience, but it's just kind of, you know, it's there for those who want it. And there are a couple of interesting side stories, I guess you could say, that are in that side content. But it's understandable why at 43 hours, that's a good chunk of time, dude. So how does Kojima come up with this stuff? I wish I could tell you, man. It is what I told you it was going to be wild, bro. Didn't I tell you, like, Death Stranding is a wild ride? It's just so unique in so many ways. And Disco Cobra coming in with a $50 super chat, my friend. I'm going to read that momentarily. Thank you so much, dude. We have 18 May coming in, not only gifting 5 memberships, so huge shout out to 18 May for that. Yeah, keep in mind, anybody who gets gifted a membership today, you'll have access to today's Members Lounge. Helldivers 2 gameplay with members. Looking forward to that. I assume it's going to be an absolute chaotic shit show, but it should be fun nonetheless. So 18 May, thank you so much, man. You just brought us up to 6 members on the day. And I see that you also dropped a milestone chat here, which I will read, where you say, W trim armor for free. W trim armor for free. Am I missing something here? 18 May, I'm very confused. I hate when I read any chats where I'm not fully, like, it's not computing in my brain, like, what is being said here. Sorry, Stephen Cardinal. I almost missed your milestone chat. Oh, excuse me. Stephen Cardinal, he says, I bought Helldivers 2 on day one just to discover that my PS5 will crash anytime I play the game for more than 20 minutes. Just goes black. SMFH, shaking my fucking head yet. That is truly strange, Stephen. Like, I have no idea. That has to be like an isolated thing, right? That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's very egregious. Now, I can tell you, I've had my game crash a total of 2 times. I've gotten disconnected a couple of times, but straight up like game hard crashing 2 times. No black screen or anything like that. That is really strange, dude. You're saying it was happening with Spider-Man also. Dude, I'm beginning to think that might be your PlayStation 5. There's a dry spot in your liquid cooling. Oh. Okay, so I want to ask you this, Stephen Cardinal. And please only do this if you want to do extra research into it. But I watched this video one time of people who were having trouble with this, right? Like a dry spot with the liquid cooling. Apparently, something you can do to potentially fix it, and I don't know if you've tried this, is you turn on your PlayStation 5, you let it run for a while, and then you just put it upside down. You just place your PlayStation 5 upside down, turned on, and apparently it like allows the liquid metal to kind of move back to the spot that it's supposed to be in. I don't know if this worked. Like, again, I saw a video on this claiming that this is a potential fix for this problem, but do it at your own discretion. You know, don't. If you do that and it breaks your PS5, please don't come to me and say MBG broke my PS5. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying look into it. But yeah, that sounds like a pretty annoying problem. I can imagine. It sounds like your console's just like constantly overheating or something like that. So that sucks, man. I hope you're able to figure it out. Upside down vertically. To be clear, upside down vertically. Yes, Matt York. I should have said that. Upside down vertically, not horizontally. Again, look into it before you do it. But I came across a video and they were like, this is like the most effective way to do this. Disco Cobra, really quick, got to give Disco Cobra a big shout out right now, dropping a $50 super chat, which is very generous. And actually, I forgot to do this. My apologies. I want to make sure to give a very big special shout out to last week's top donors on the channel. Coming in with the Platinum Trophy, we have the legend himself, Corey Landiga. Coming in at gold, we actually have a 4-way tie, which I think this is the first time this has ever happened, with Hellbound 1981, Matt Fu, Isaac Adrian, and Steven Leon. And then with the silver trophy, we have Disco Cobra 2013. And then with the bronze, we got Exley Trismegistus coming in. So yeah, thank you guys so much, seriously, for funding the channel and allow me to do what I do here. But Disco Cobra, you're saying here, well, let me shout this out first because I will end up forgetting it. Stephen Cardinal. That's the thing I hate about these membership. I love the membership gifts, but they're so easy to miss. Stephen Cardinal drops 5 more memberships for this community, bringing us up to 11 members on the day. So, guys, I already see you have W's flowing in the chat. Stephen, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. I'm going to add that to the counter and then read Disco Cobra's chat here. Disco Cobra says, what's up, MBG? I still haven't played Helldivers 2 yet. I got it the other day, so if I did get to play with y'all, it would be a learning curve for me. I've been getting back into retro gaming, have my original Xbox set up with RetroTink 5X upscaler. Yeah, you were telling me about that, man. It's really interesting, I think, at this point, considering the rumors regarding Xbox. Definitely, I guess I could say at this point, it makes sense now more than ever for people to maybe get into, into the whole retro scene with Xbox in particular, because there's all this conversation that they're going to leave, they're going to exit. I think it's obvious they're not going to exit, but yeah, man, I can't blame you there. But Helldivers 2 does have a serious learning curve, man. Let me tell you, in my opinion. I'm going to talk all about that. And we have Hellbound 1981 coming in, keeping the membership train going strong today. Hellbound drops 5 more membership gifts for you guys. So clearly you guys are trying to get as many members into this members lounge. today after the regular stream, which is great to see. So Hellbound, my friend,
thank you
so much for that, man. That brings us up to 16. We're only 9 away now from hitting our first goal on the day. But Disco Cobra, getting back to your super chat, yeah, I don't know what to expect. I played a game or two with a random team yesterday in, what was the difficulty level? I think it was challenging. There's like a bunch of difficulty levels in Helldivers 2. There's like medium, challenging, hard, extreme, and then there's like 3 more above that. It's actually like kind of crazy how many difficulty levels there are. And I definitely felt like I was the weakest link rolling with these guys because I was the lowest level. I was holding my own, but I could tell like these guys knew what they were doing. They were rolling together, like executing on every move. And I'm like, okay, I'm just trying my best not to screw up here. But yeah, it's a great game, dude. It does have a learning curve. We have 18 May. 18 May is keeping this membership train rolling along here. 18 May drops 5 more gifts, clearly wanting to get us over the 25 mark, wants to crush the first goal. You guys are almost there, just about to do it. 4 members away from crushing the first goal before we can even dive into the first topic. So thank you for that. Is Helldivers free? It is not. It is $40. And as I say that, we have Matt Fu coming in. Matt Fu getting us over the line and then some, dropping 10 more membership gifts. He drops a 10 bomb.
Holy shit.
We did it. We did it. Not even a half hour into the stream, you guys crushed 25 members with Matt Fu's generous 10 bomb. He brings us up to 31 members on the day. So I'm going to update the member goal for you guys. Thank you so much for all the continued support, guys. Just give me 1 moment here. I really wish there was a faster way to do this, but unfortunately I have not discovered it yet. Not so sure that there is a faster way to do it. But there we go. 31 members already. Incredible stuff, guys. We have an amazing, generous community here. Jeffrey says, thank you for the membership. Yes, guys, if you are here now and you're receiving any of these membership gifts, make sure you show your gratitude. It's a free membership for a month, courtesy of these generous community members. And Disco Cobra, well, man, I will just say this when it comes to playing Helldivers 2. Don't get discouraged if you struggle at first, because I'll be honest, like my first 2 to 3 hours playing this game, I was really struggling. I don't know. I thought I would like adapt to it quicker, but I could tell like, all right, this is one of those games, in my opinion, where it kind of demands you have to play it a certain way, where it's like, you kind of sometimes go in thinking, oh, I played plenty of third-person shooters. You know, I played Call of Duty Zombies in the past, you know, like survival-based games with co-op, stuff like that. But it is a very specific type of gameplay experience that, don't get me wrong, like if you just want to go in and shoot stuff, you can do that. But like as I got past the 3rd and the 4th hour mark and the game started opening up more, I started to realize like, okay, there's a lot more here, which is great because it reveals that there's way more depth to the gameplay of Helldivers 2 than I ever expected. Now, I never played the first game, so I'm sure people who played the first game, they already knew like what was going to be on offer here. But for me, I was almost a little bit worried going into it that it was going to be too simple, too basic, where you can just kind of run and gun and it'll get boring. And it's like, no, dude, once you start getting to the regular or higher difficulties and you take into account all the different stratagems that you can unlock, there has to be a synchronicity essentially with you and your team. And that's what I learned playing with this random team, is that they were just like, they just knew how to handle like, okay, here's a horde coming our way at this mission objective. You know, we're all going to like throw down these things at the exact same time and boom, the horde's pretty much done. We just got to do a little bit of cleanup and then we complete that specific objective. Onto the next one. And it's just like you run it like an efficient team. And I can tell as you go to higher difficulties, it challenges you to get tighter and tighter and tighter in every move you execute, in how every teammate is working with one another. And it's very interesting. To be honest, I don't think I've played anything quite like Helldivers 2. I've played a lot of co-op experiences, a lot of third-person shooters, but this truly is like a third-person shooter co-op experience that I've never experienced anything like it, and it's really, really good. You're saying it's the Dark Souls of multiplayer shooters? I don't know. I guess maybe if we're just trying to be funny about it, we could call it that. But dude, let me tell you, the friendly fire. Wow. Yeah, got to be careful with that friendly fire, let me tell you. So Disco Cobra, once again, man, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. We have the Game Cat Andrew Einrich saying, I want to thank whoever gifted me a membership. I also want to say Legendary Tales on PSVR 2 is incredible. I'm also playing Death Stranding at the moment. It's great. This is so cool to see. I mean, shout out to Legendary Tales on PSVR 2, but it's also so cool to see so many people deciding that they're going to play. I'm assuming it's your first time playing it, Andrew, but yeah, man, I've tried. It's just a nice thing to see people say, hey, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot, and they end up really enjoying it. And I think that most people, not all, but most people, you're saying I butchered your last name. Ehrenreich, I'm sorry. Is that how you, am I saying it right now? Ehrenreich? What did I say? Einrich? I'm sorry. I feel like I've made this mistake before. Andrew Ehrenreich. Is that better? You have to let me know. I always feel bad when I destroy people's names, man. You know me and my pronunciation. But assuming I got your last name right that time, I've always tried to... That is right? Okay, good. I've always tried to tell people that, like, Death Stranding is not a game you judge based off of watching gameplay. Watching gameplay of Death Stranding simply will not do it justice. You have to experience it. You have to play it. You have to feel... You have to get a feel for the actual gameplay loop and the nuance that, believe it or not, does exist with simply delivering packages across different terrain. And I think that anybody who actually puts some time into playing it, again, it's I think even people who don't like it, I think they identify that there's something deeper here, but it's just not for me. But I think that unfortunately Death Stranding was kind of the victim of too many people judging a book by its cover. Just not even by its cover, but just seeing the gameplay and assuming that they understand everything that goes along with it. But A2 says you're playing it right now and you're really enjoying it. Good stuff, man. Brett Williams says, is there a place the community can share their PSN for playing Helldivers? I need people to play with, and none of my friends are playing it. That's a great question. What I'll actually do, I mean, hey, if you want to tune into the members launch today, that would be a great place to do it. You guys can exchange PSNs, but I could put out like a community post, basically just telling you guys like, hey, for anybody who wants to add anybody here in the community, post down below and everybody can just start kind of adding everybody. That'd probably be a good idea. So I'll try to remember to do that. Yeah, just saying this is why I need a Discord. Maybe. Yeah, I'll put out a post like that so you guys can exchange PSNs. Because we do have a pretty tight-knit community here. We need a Discord for playing games. I tried to run a Discord before and it just got ahead of me, man. I'm not making any promises for any Discord in the future. We'll see. Maybe one day. But not this day. Titus, thank you for the chat, my friend. You're saying, hey, MBG, sorry for my absence lately. No need to be sorry, man. Saying I needed to catch up with your videos. The 7-hour stream was insane. How did I get my Metal Gear 3 poster destroyed? Was it boss? Hold on, the Metal Gear... I have my Metal Gear Solid 3 poster behind me, unless there's a different one we're talking about here. Well, you know what? I did actually, now that you mention it, a long time ago, I did have a different Metal Gear Solid 3 poster. I don't know if that's the one you're referring to, but this was like a couple years back. And no, but that one got destroyed, not by boss. That one got destroyed, unfortunately, with some flooding in my basement. I was like storing it down there. And when I went to go clean it up, I was like, oh shit. It was a like 24 by 32 MGS3 poster, featured like boss and big boss back to back. It was really cool. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but When was there a 7-hour stream? We did a 7-hour. Yeah, that was ridiculous. The 7-hour stream occurred, I think, last Monday. I pushed it too far that day. I was messed up after the end of that stream. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot stream for that long, dude. At least not high intensity, high energy streaming where it's like I'm constantly going. I say that, and then there's going to be another 7-hour stream later this week. It's too long. It's too long. I had to take like an intermission break, but I appreciate you guys showing up and supporting. Let me see. We have 18 May with the super chat saying, "You ever play any of Fumito Ueda? I think that's how you say his name. Any of his games, MBG, dude's the GOAT." The name rings a bell. Isn't that the developer behind like Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian? Or am I thinking of a different developer and development team? I just want to get confirmation here before I answer that question. Is it like Team Ico or something? That is him? Okay. Yes. All right. So I did play Shadow of the Colossus. I played the remake from Bluepoint. It was amazing. Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, to be honest, I don't really talk about Shadow of the Colossus, but I did, believe it or not, I did stream an entire playthrough of that game on my channel. I feel like there are a lot of people who maybe don't know that, but I streamed the entire playthrough of Shadow of the Colossus. And dude, I didn't realize what I was getting myself into because I made it clear that I don't like puzzles in games, and I didn't realize that all of the boss battles were puzzles. So that was a stressful experience, but it was incredible. Shadow of the Colossus was an incredible game. Easily one of my favorite games ever. Just, again, not one I really mentioned because it was... Now, The Last Guardian, this is one I've missed out on. A lot of people told me, like, look, man, if you like Shadow of the Colossus, you'll definitely like The Last Guardian. And that's my fault for just basically skipping over that. Maybe one day I'll get around to playing it, but... All right, we got, let's see, Michael Lynch. Michael Lynch says, happy Super Bowl day. Yeah, Super Bowl's tonight. How many of you guys are watching the Super Bowl? I'm going to be watching it. I'm not really excited for it, to be completely honest, because, I don't know, I haven't gotten into, I haven't been into football for many years, and each year that goes by, I just fall further and further from it. But I'm going to tune in. Apparently, we're going to get the first Deadpool 3 trailer revealed during the Super Bowl. I think that's what I read. Devil Shooter saying if you get Last Guardian, get a disc and don't update to 60 FPS. Really? Huh. Prince Smith, you're saying girlfriend wants me to watch Broke Bitch Fountain? Like, what the F? Prince Smith, I cannot speak to what you are saying right now in your super chat. The only thing I can say is I am glad you are here watching my content, my friend. Prince Smith, dude. Always saying wild stuff. The movie. I know. Well, hopefully you can stay tuned into the stream, man. To be clear, I don't have any problems with that movie. I want to make that clear. I have no problems with that movie. I'm just saying. Skip the Super Bowl. Skip that movie. Skip the Super Bowl. Stay here. I'm just kidding. Go where you want to go. To those who are here watching me today, thank you. And as I say that, we have Chris B. Chris B coming in, dropping another 10 bomb. You guys are going crazy today with the membership gifts. Chris B. Thank you so much, my friend. Chris B just brings us up to 41 members already. You guys are killing it today. Love to see it, man. This community is incredible. Let me add that to the counter, and boom, 41. Already just 9 away from crushing a second goal. Love to see it, man. Love to see it. Chris, thank you so much, my friend. I just want to make it known that to all you guys who are consistently gifting memberships, I see you, okay? I see you guys who tune in regularly and drop some memberships. Do I think we'll get a first look at a Ghost of Tsushima trailer this year? I think there's a good chance, yeah. I'm not, like, saying it's guaranteed, like, for sure we will. I don't feel that confident, but I feel confident enough in that, like, when Sony, assuming Sony's actually going to do a proper showcase this year, I think that would be a great time to properly reveal Ghost of Tsushima 2, because, I mean, I assume that the game is at least ready to be revealed, you know? That's what I'm thinking, right? We have Chris Brown here with a super chat, and he says, who wants to spread democracy? Add me for Helldivers 2. Quid Station, in all caps. I'll play with you. Salute. Game is amazing. Also just upgraded Death Stranding to Director's Cut. Well, there you go, man. You guys are loving both Helldivers 2 and Death Stranding, which is incredible because those games couldn't be more different from one another. So good stuff, man. Anybody who wants to add Chris Brown, he puts his PSN here, Quid Station, all caps, can add him. Say hello to Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Thank you for watching. All right, here's what we're going to do. Guys, hit that like button for me. We're going to dive into the first topic, although we kind of did dive into the first topic a little bit, that being Helldivers 2, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and talk about the updates regarding these Xbox games on PS5. This is truly the single most chaotic week I've ever witnessed, and I think a lot of people feel this way when it comes to rumors and leaks regarding any platform. Something that has occurred this past week, and you're gonna notice this as we go over the other details, is that a lot of insiders who do have credibility and are considered reliable have seemingly fumbled to a degree, or at the very least flip-flopped, in that by the end of this, there's going to be some people that are going to be considered much more reliable than others based off of all the talk and all the conversation that's going on. And so, yeah, just to get everybody up to speed, I'm sure most of you are, but just a very quick, like, 20-second recap. Essentially, it started with the rumors of Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves making their way to PS5. And it started with the rumors of Microsoft getting ready to go third party. Basically, starting last week, the floodgates opened, and suddenly everywhere you looked around, there was just rumor after rumor after report from all these different sources. Again, many of which, if not all of them, are considered reliable to some extent, saying things like, it's not just Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. It's basically looking like it might be the whole slate. We're talking Halo, Gears, right? We're talking Starfield. We're talking all future Bethesda games. We're talking all future Activision Blizzard games. We're talking potentially even all future Xbox Studios games. We're talking games like Hellblade, potentially. Indiana Jones, all this stuff. And now we are at a point where the official announcement is going to happen this upcoming week. And the only official response we got was from Phil Spencer, and he said, hey, we're going to have a business update for you next week. We hear you. Stay tuned. Haven't heard a peep from Microsoft since. However, the rumor mill has continued to turn, or churn, I should say. And so, yeah, that's where we are now. And a couple of new rumors have come out that, to be honest with you, these new rumors that we're going to go over have done nothing but make everything even more confusing and to some extent even more annoying, where it's like now more than ever, we can't really trust what anybody's saying. I think that's pretty clear. Or if it's not clear, I think it's going to be clear after we go over it. Really quick, we have Matt York, longtime member for 24 months, saying Madison PSVR 2 on February 20th. You still interested in picking this one up? Hopefully, no more delays. been one I've been eagerly awaiting. I'll have to think about this, Matt. I realized the way I play PSVR 2 is I just occasionally come back to it. This could be a game that gets me to come back to it. If not for PSVR 2, just playing it regularly, but knowing that I think they're releasing a physical copy of this game. So you can play it regularly on PS5 and it's PSVR 2 compatible. So I think I might end up trying to pick it up. Don't know if I'm going to be able to play it though. I didn't realize it was coming out this soon, February 20th. I'd like to support it. That's awfully close to Final Fantasy. So I'll think about it, Matt. And if I do, I'll definitely let you know. But thank you for the heads up. I didn't realize it was about to release. And we have Jake Skew 27 keeping the membership train rolling along here today. Jake Skew drops a membership gift, guys. Let's get some W's in the chat for our good friend Jake here. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for getting us up to 42. Oops, I hit the wrong one. I just subscribed to my own channel. I'm going to add that to the counter, bringing us up to 42 members on the day. Really, really appreciate that. Again, I'm going to say this one more time. I told you guys I was going to kind of let you know this, throughout the stream. We will be doing a members lounge after this stream today. Okay, and that the members lounge is going to be us playing Helldivers 2. I'm going to be playing with channel members. Okay, so if you are a channel member, tune into that stream afterwards. We have Chris Brown saying, Tom Warren said one game that will surprise everyone. So yes, there was a rumor from Tom Warren that I saw circulating. I'm going to tell you guys, be careful with this one. The report or the claim is that Tom Warren from The Verge states that there's going to be one game that comes to PlayStation apparently, or is announced to be coming to PlayStation. That's going to surprise everybody. This was from a recording from like February 2nd. So I'm pretty sure we already, figured out what that game was, or that game was already discussed. That game could have been Starfield. That game could have been Gears. There's been talk about Halo. So like everything has already been talked about. So I think that whatever he was alluding to has already kind of been leaked or rumored. And I think a lot of people didn't realize that when they came across that rumor, they thought that that was something that Tom Warren had said like yesterday. It's like, no, that was like over a week and a half ago at this point. It's going to be Crackdown 3. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to admit, I would definitely not expect that. I would definitely not expect that one. If Microsoft releases Crackdown 3 on PlayStation, I'll be convinced that's a specific troll against me. They did that purposely. Just to troll me. And we have Corey the Legend Landiga coming in, dropping another 5-bomb onto this community today. Corey, thank you so much, my friend, for keeping the membership train going.
Appreciate it.
Corey just brought us up to 47 members. Guys, we are just 3 away from hitting a second goal today, crushing 50 members. Amazing stuff. You guys are absolutely insane. Thank you so much, Corey, and thank you to everybody who has gotten us to this point so far. You love to see it. Crackdown 4, here comes Boss. Here comes Boss to assert his authority. Hello, Boss. No. Boss. Please. Boss, please don't do this to me. So here are some of the new rumors. I'm going to try my best not to be distracted by Boss right now. All right, we're just going to power through. Boss, you're not derailing this train today. Not today. As they say when you're playing Helldivers, not today! Dude, let me really quick give a big shout out to the voice acting in Helldivers 2. The voice acting in Helldivers 2 is incredible, man. Like, it makes me laugh every time. Get some! Get some! It's so perfect. All right. We also have Jake Skew 27 dropping another membership gift. Dude, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It sounds like the same voice actor who does Spider-Man. All right, boss. I think that's enough now. So Jake Skew, thank you so much, man. You just brought us up to... All right, come on, buddy. You just brought us up to 48 members. 2 away, guys. We are 2 members away from crushing 50. Subtext says, I've missed this week's streams, but just want to gush over Helldivers 2 and curious about your thoughts. Me and my friends have been addicted. I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. I've been loving it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it soon. So stay tuned for that. But let me go over some of these other rumors regarding Xbox and what's going on. The latest updates. I'm on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, so we're just going to go down the line here. Okay? So going down the line, we're starting with Jez Corden. He says, Xbox business update has been planned since last summer and has been accelerated due to recent rumors. Now, on top of this, he deleted that tweet. To be clear, Jez Corden deleted that tweet. Whoa, hold on. Yo. Hey. All right, hold on, guys. We got to go. Boss, we got to go, bro. We got to go. You got to go. You got to get out. Come on. You got to go. You come back. Sorry about that. I have no choice but to escort him out of the room when he is beginning to aggressively chew my mic because he is going to end up breaking it. He'll come back. I promise. He'll come back. He just needs to cool off a little bit. I absolutely love having Boss up here with me, but he does this thing now. He found the metal springs. I'm sure you guys know he found the metal springs on my microphone holder here, and he's going to end up hurting himself. Like, that's the whole thing. He's going to end up hurting himself because he has very sharp teeth, and I'm pretty sure he's going to cut through it, and it's going to snap. Just want to let you guys know as well, he doesn't do this when I'm not streaming. Like, my mic is here the whole time. He never bites any of these. He only does it when I'm streaming. He'll be back, though. By the way, Corey, bro. Corey's going to be very happy because I have a new Metal Gear soundtrack that I've updated for when we do some lifting. But with that being said, dude, on top of Jake Skew's membership gift, Hellbound 1981. Another legend here. He does it. Hellbound drops 5 more gifts. He gets us over 50 members. We are now sitting at 53. Guys, I need to see more W's flowing in the chat for Hellbound and everybody else who's been gifting, because that's insane. We're already over 50 members today. This community, just the generosity, I'm telling you, man. Good stuff, man. Thank you guys for keeping that membership train rolling along. So going back to the rumor here. Sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place. Boss just really distracted me there. Jez Corden said this, and then he deleted his tweet. I think the reason he deleted his tweet is because he put out a second tweet, which I can't see. I don't know if he deleted the second tweet, but essentially what he's saying is he's taking a step away from Twitter. He's taking a break from Twitter. That's what he claims. And you know what? Can't blame him. Can't blame him. Great idea, man. Everybody should take a break from Twitter. Everybody should take a break from Twitter. Twitter is the worst place. And don't get me wrong, like, I understand why. I get it. Like, some people are going to be like, wow, man, the timing. But you know what? In all seriousness, I understand. I can empathize. I can. I really can. Like, people on Twitter are the worst of the worst. Like, I have contemplated just straight up deleting my Twitter so many times. And I probably will at some. Eventually, I'm going to. I don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually I'm going to delete my Twitter because people are truly horrific on that website. And I will never condemn anybody for saying, you know what, my mental health and well-being is more important than this website. To me, that takes, that takes a little bit of courage. So I salute that. Absolutely. I salute that. But yeah, good idea. I should experiment with that. You're saying you can just turn off replies. That's true. To be honest, I always forget that's an option. It just seems like that's a non-option on that website, but that is an option. I'm going to delete my Twitter. I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to leave it there to rot. Who cares? Twitter sucks, bro. It really does. Twitter absolutely fucking sucks. Right here's where it's at. Like, YouTube is where it's at. This community is where it's at. I'm not even kidding. Bro. But yeah, some people are looking into this as in like, Jez Corden is stepping away from Twitter because this means things are like, this means that the shit is truly about to hit the fan. I'm not viewing it that. I mean, maybe. It's a smart move. Like, truthfully, if the shit is going to hit the fan, this is a good time to just get out of the way. Don't make, if you want to not deal with the bullshit, you want to, try to keep as much of that off you as possible. But the reality is people are a little bit frustrated with some of these Microsoft and Xbox insiders because it just seems like they've kind of been flip-flopping back and forth, right? Where it's like 1 week, it's this is happening. This is what my sources are telling me. It's all over. And then the next day, it's like, actually, maybe it's not going to be that bad. Maybe it's going to be okay. Like maybe it's just going to be, maybe none of it's true, or maybe only some of it's true. And then it's like, they just kind of keep going back and forth, and people are getting very annoyed because it's like, well, what is it? What is it? And so that's the first thing that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. That's the latest update from Jez Corden. He claims in a now deleted tweet that this business update has been planned since last summer. Now, there is another update. We did talk about this one already. Tom Warren, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves are coming, but there's a big one that no one expects. We already covered that one. Here's a really interesting one. To me, this is the most interesting one. I got to see where the source is coming from, though. I think this is from IGN. Updater? I don't know. Anyway, this rumor is claiming that the company held an internal Tuesday town hall where Phil Spencer told employees that there were no plans to stop making consoles and that Xboxes would continue to be part of a strategy that involves multiple kinds of devices. And so Xbox did not, they did not respond to a request for comment. So this one seems to continue to feed the narrative, which, to be clear, this is the one that I believe the most. The rumor narrative, or there are many different narratives that have been spun up based off of the rumors and the reports the past week or so. The one that I believe is this one, that they are going third party to a certain extent, but they're going to keep making consoles. That's the one I believe. So if this rumor is to be believed, apparently Phil Spencer straight up addressed everybody, because it seems like there was panic internally at Microsoft. There was actual panic with the Xbox team. And Phil had to come out and address this and say, listen, we're still making Xboxes. No worries. We're still making Xbox consoles. And I think that this is a good thing. I want to speak on this for just a moment here. I've seen a lot of people mentioning how I'm wrong, or if I'm not wrong, I'm just ignorant to the fact that Xbox even being involved by making a console is going to keep Sony competitive. Listen, I understand that. And I would just want to make it clear, like, I don't want to see Xbox stop making consoles. I've never advocated for that. The only thing I've made clear is that the Xbox console has not really been very competitive. And I just think that's the reality. However, I also understand the idea that, well, listen, if Microsoft doesn't exit the console market, that means they're going to continue making consoles. And if they continue making consoles, that will force Sony to pay attention. I agree to an extent. I think that if Microsoft is going to make another next-gen console, that is good for the PlayStation 6. Okay, that is not a bad thing. However, I think people are overinflating how good that really is. As in, people are making it seem like that Sony is going to make every decision they do for the PlayStation 6 based off of a reactionary standpoint of, well, what's Microsoft doing with their Xbox? That's not what's going to happen, especially if the latest rumors are true. The latest rumors claim that Microsoft is going to release their next-gen console in 2026, and Sony is going to release their next-gen console, the PlayStation 6, in 2028. So I can tell you right now, it's not really going to matter what Microsoft does with their next-gen console if they release it in 2026. Because that's practically 2 years. What is that noise? Sorry, guys. I hear like I'm hearing like a noise, and I'm trying to determine if it's coming from outside or if Boss is getting into shenanigans. Yeah, I'm literally over here be like, Boss, please, bro. Like, what are you doing out there that you're going to have to make me leave my stream? All right, I don't hear it anymore. It was a really weird noise. It sounded like something was about to get knocked over. Cats, man. Let me tell you, I love having cats, but they can be stressful sometimes. Shattered Glass 23 says Xbox still making consoles absolutely makes no sense. I understand where you're coming from, Shattered Glass. If it's true that Microsoft is about to go third party, at least to some extent, I understand where you're coming from. But I don't think this is about whether for Microsoft, this isn't about making sense. This is about just not shattering the brand overnight. Because I can tell you right now, like, if tomorrow or this upcoming week, if Microsoft in their business announcements like, yeah, we're basically going third party, at least we're beginning now to go third party, it's over in the sense that no one will ever look at Xbox the same way again. It is a paradigm shift. Now, if they were to do that and also announce, by the way, we're also exiting the console market, that is just a complete exiting of their current business model, right? Or at least a complete, like, yeah, we're done. This is over. I think the idea of them wanting to continue to make consoles, I spoke on this in a previous stream. It's worth mentioning here again. I just think it's because they feel like they can still extract money from a certain amount of customers. I think that's all it is. Sure, we may not be able to sell 20, 25, 30, 35 million next-gen Xbox consoles, but what if we can still sell 10 million at the very least? And we sell 10 million consoles at a profit. That's just extra money. That's just extra profit for Microsoft that, and they can also keep a portion of their fan base happy. Microsoft is going to, I've said this before. I know a lot of what I'm saying is a repeat, but I think it's just important to kind of repeat this going into this week because we're going to get our answers. To me, it's very clear. Microsoft wants to thread the needle, and it's going to be difficult for them to do it, but they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to come out and say, all right, we are taking some of these games and releasing them on PlayStation and Switch. And you might see future games release on PlayStation and Switch. But we're not leaving the console market. We're still going to have a console for those who want it, and we're still going to support Game Pass. I think we could see a potential shift in Game Pass as well, where they might start to make it clear that all right, we're still doing day one releases, but not for everything. It seems like Microsoft is starting to kind of shift away from the play it day one on Game Pass. It seems like they're shifting away from that terminology, and they're shifting more towards play it on Game Pass. People notice this with some updates to the website, on their website. These updates happened in November of last year, and it seems like people are just now discovering. And one of the things that changed is, and this is where you see just how bad Twitter can get as a website when it comes to the way people get. It was made clear based off of these. Hold on, Mike Brown, you're saying sounds like I'm backtracking. What am I backtracking on? Serious question. What am I backtracking on? I'm not backtracking on anything. Like, everything I'm saying right now, I've already said multiple times in previous streams. There's no backtracking here. But anyway, if you check the website, you're seeing less and less of the terminology play it day one on Game Pass. Like, they're seemingly slowly removing that and instead just replacing it with play it on Game Pass. And I think this is very intentional. I think it's obvious why they would do this. What is the implication? What is Microsoft implying? They're implying that not every game is going to launch day one into Game Pass. That's what they're implying. That's not me making that implication. That's Microsoft. Now, does that mean games like Hellblade 2 and Avowed are not going to launch day one on Game Pass? No, I'm sure they are. They were already announced to do so. But what it might mean is some future titles like maybe Blade, Call of Duty, possibly Elder Scrolls, maybe stuff like this. They might decide maybe we're gonna hold off on day one launches on Game Pass. Maybe we just want to focus on sales for now, and then we'll bring it to Game Pass. That's not at all out of the realm of possibility. In fact, I'd say that's actually kind of likely based off of everything that's going on. Vic, you're saying MBG, you said they can't open Pandora's box just a little bit. It's either closed or open, but nothing in between. Yes, I stand by that 100%. I'm not backtracking on that. Just because I'm saying Microsoft is going to try to thread the needle and they're going to try to have their cake and eat it too, I'm not saying it's going to work. I don't believe it'll work. I just don't. I think they know that deep down. Ultimately, I think they know that like you're not gonna be able to pull the wool over people's eyes this time. You can try, but you're not going to, because once Pandora's box is opened, it is open. And you can stand in front of it and say, guys, it's not that bad. Trust us. Like, it's not going to be everything. You're still going to have some exclusives. It will not matter. It won't. And the Xbox fan base knows this. This is why the Xbox fan base has been behaving the way they have, because they know, like, where are you going to move the goalpost to now? You're going to say, well, at least we have timed exclusives. It doesn't matter. It sounds foolish. Even to them, it sounds foolish, because it's like, what are you going to, we get this game a year before anybody. Like, dude, no one's going to care. Everybody on PlayStation or Switch or PC is just going to say, good for you guys. We're just going to wait. And Microsoft knows that once they open that box, and that's why I'm saying, like, there will be an aggressive push to mitigate that. However, let's talk about something else here, because there are more rumors, okay, that have come out. So Phil apparently addressed the Xbox team internally and said, hey, we're still making consoles. Here's where shit starts to get kind of wacky. All right. Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming 2 days ago, he says, nothing is set in stone for Xbox ports apart from Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. This is according to internal Xbox people. Then he follows this up by saying, and I'm going to read this word for word. I'm going to read it word for word. He follows it up by saying, third-party games that have been released on Xbox are going to PlayStation 5. But first-party games that have been released are not. But first-party games that have not been released are going to PlayStation 5. I have no idea. Like, that sounds like a riddle. I don't even know what to make of that. But I think Tom Henderson realized how confusing that was. And so the final word from Tom Henderson is he said, you know what? Let's just... he said he updated his tweet and he said, let's just roll with all things are being considered discussed. And that's it. So essentially what this boils down to is a whole lot of nothing. Essentially what this boils down to is maybe some of them are coming, maybe they're not. I know. It seems to boil down to that. So that's what Tom Henderson said. I want to point this out really quick. When he said nothing is set in stone apart from Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, that's according to internal Xbox people. We need to understand something. This is so important for everybody to understand. Not because I think it's not like, oh, this is bad for Xbox. It's just I think this is very clearly the reality. Why is it that even the insiders who have sources, why is it that it seems like even they are confused and they're saying one thing one day and then they're saying another thing the next day and they're going back and forth and back and forth? Why do you think this is? It is obvious what is happening. It is because the sources that they have at Microsoft work for Xbox. They are Xbox employees. Even they don't know. There's a rumor mill circulating inside of the Xbox development team. There's a reason why Tom Warren of The Verge said, just to be clear, only very few people at Microsoft actually know what's about to happen. This is not something that they're going to come out and put a mass email out there to tell everybody internally at Xbox, hey, here's our plans, because they already know everything's leaking. We're not telling them anything. We're just going to let them find out the same day as everybody else because we can't trust them. And that's the truth. This is why you are seeing insiders one day say, hey, I was told that this game and this game are apparently coming. And then the next day they're like, actually, it might not be. It's because, dude, there's the sources that they're getting this from are probably also hearing internally at Microsoft the same things. When in reality, it's like no one knows except unless your source is like Phil Spencer or maybe Sarah Bond or Satya Nadella himself or Tim Stewart. Like, unless that's your source, you don't know. You're just as in the know as anybody else. There is a new rumor by Special Nick that the Xbox hardware team, Jason Ronald, has been replaced by the Surface team. That's actually an extremely believable rumor. Because, yeah, the Surface team, they know how to operate in this exact space. And what I refer to is the fact that Surface hardware is pretty much redundant in that it's not needed. Like, Microsoft does not have to make Surface hardware, but they do it because they feel it's kind of necessary. It's necessary for their brand. It's necessary for the small but loyal fan base that's there for the Surface. And because of that, they've continued to make these products that are very niche. And they know this. That's exactly what Xbox is going to turn into, a very redundant niche product that is going to matter still to a small group of people. And Microsoft's going to, and I salute that. Truthfully, I salute that. I think that's a great thing for Microsoft to do, where it's like, I hope Sony, if consoles as a whole one day become extremely niche, I hope Sony continues to do that, where they're like, we're going to keep making consoles even if there's just a couple million people buying them. We see Sony doing that for the Walkman, right? Like, Sony still makes a modern version of the Walkman. But how many people are buying a Walkman? And so I just think it's very important for everybody to understand that this is not a situation where Microsoft in the last week just said, hey guys, the jig is up, like, they know our plans. We need to reverse course here. That's not what's happening. That should be obvious to everybody, because when plans of this nature leak, something this significant, something this game-changing, so to speak, industry-changing, it's very clear that this has been something that's been in the works for a long time. They didn't just wake up a week ago and say, you know what, let's just go third party. That's not how that works. They've been slowly, meticulously planning this and probably working on how they're going to execute it. And the worst has happened, where turns out you got to pick up the pace. You thought you were going to have a few more months to figure this out and thread that needle exactly how you wanted to. Now you don't. You have a week. People, that's the thing too. People wondering, why is Microsoft waiting a week? Because they literally need that time. At least from what I can tell, Microsoft needs that time to, like, listen, we thought we were going to have to figure out how to market this a couple months from now. We have to figure out how we're going to market it next week. The pressure's on for them. And I'm not saying it's make or break. I just think it's, to be honest, I don't know that it really matters that much. At least to me. I can't speak for anybody else out there, but to me it doesn't matter. If Microsoft comes out this week and says Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation 5, Sea of Thieves is coming to PlayStation 5, and then I don't know, what's a third game that would make the most sense that could come very soon? I don't know. If it's like Starfield, right? I don't know. Maybe Starfield will or won't, but it's just, to be honest, for me, as soon as any Xbox game comes to PS5, it's over. I like, for me personally, that's it. Like, it's just, you can release future games exclusively on your Xbox console and on Game Pass. I'm going to assume they're just timed. And that, I'll have to wait maybe 6 months or a year, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't. Gears was voted to be most wanted by PlayStation users. That's pretty interesting. Maybe not all that surprising. We have Dark Demon Media. He says, what Xbox needs is a PR team, which they do not have. Phil, Microsoft, the community cannot communicate at all. They should have never gotten rid of PR. Yeah, well, I think the biggest mistake that Microsoft made with the marketing that they've been doing and the way that they've been communicating for the past probably 5 years or so is they've leaned very heavily into the hardcore fan base and the fanboys. They've leaned very much so into that. And I think that's exactly it's like biting them in the ass now, where that's where the biggest wave of hate and frustration is coming from. It's like kind of like the monster they created in a way. And yeah, this is why I feel like I don't really know that they can market this in an effective way. I mean, how do you market that? The only thing you could really do is try to take the stance of, hey, everybody's going to win here. Everybody's going to win. But a lot of the most vocal people are probably not going to be okay with that and say, yeah, you're right. The most vocal people, the most hardcore fans, if that's what Microsoft chooses to say, are going to turn around and say, no, we're not falling for it this time. And I think that's because if Microsoft was smart, they shouldn't have some kind of slogan or catchphrase or some kind. They just need to cut the shit, man. They do. Like, I really think that's what Microsoft needs to do, where Phil just has to come out and just be direct. Like, speak to your fan base like adults and say, hey, we acquired Activision Blizzard. And because of that, the shareholders are paying much more attention to what we're doing here. And because of that, they expect a return on investment. So in order to make all this work, in order to ensure Game Pass can continue to exist and Xbox consoles can continue to exist, and in order to continue that the Xbox brand can remain healthy, we need to go third party. Because I'll tell you what, if you're a true Xbox fan, like I mean a true, like you play Xbox for their games, I could understand why you would be a little bit like, wow, okay, this is not how I thought this would go. But people who care are going to stick around. Like, that's the point, man. They're going to stick around. You see people like lashing out and being like, I've been a fan for like 20 years or something, and I'm done. It's like, okay. Something tells me you're not, though. Something tells me that once the Band-Aid is ripped off and the sting of it is gone, you're probably going to realize that no one actually cares at the end of the day. You're probably going to realize that Microsoft is going to continue to do what they're going to do, which is make their games, release their games, still have another console, just that those games will now be available for PlayStation and Switch owners. And I think what the fan base is going to have, the hardcore fan base, what they're not, some of them are not fully realizing is what you're basically saying is you were never here for the games to begin with. You know? Hen, you're saying MBG, you got to realize this has nothing to do with shareholders. They're extremely happy either way. Microsoft stock is the highest it's ever been. See, that's where I disagree with you, Hen. Yes, they are happy to see where Microsoft as a whole is. Absolutely. They're thrilled. But these are, you're talking about shareholders for the richest company in the world. They're not just going to sit here and look at everything and say, you know how the shareholders work? They see that, $1 trillion, this company's now worth trillions of dollars. Microsoft's in the best position they've ever been in. If anything, this is going to shine a light even brighter on the Xbox division. And let me tell you this, it's not because they're not profitable or not making as much money or as much profit. It's because of the investment, guys. That's what people need to realize is these shareholders are absolutely paying attention to how much money did you just spend on Activision Blizzard? And how long is it going to take for that to turn a profit? Or for you to recoup that and then turn a profit? Believe it or not, this is all because of Activision Blizzard, man. Like, people need to realize, like, this was the biggest deal ever made in this industry. It was never going to just be like, and then we'll just take 30 years to make a profit. No. The Xbox division is now being taken seriously by Microsoft, and because it's being taken seriously by Microsoft, it's now being taken very seriously by Microsoft investors. So while Microsoft investors are likely very happy about Microsoft's performance overall, these are shareholders, dude. Like, these are people who want to maximize how much money they can make. So they're going to ask, hey, that's great that you're like killing it in all these departments. What's going on with Xbox over there, though? You guys just spent $70 billion. What's your plan? When are you going to start making more money? Because if Microsoft can't figure that out, they can't they can't just turn to the shareholders and say like, well, I mean they can if they want, but it's risky. They can't just say like, well, it's going to take a long time. There's like a 25, 30-year plan. Yeah, that's not gonna. There's gonna be a huge push for like we're gonna need it to happen sooner than that. Definitely gonna need it to happen sooner than that. What is that noise, dude? I may have to walk away for a moment. Hopefully not. I'm trying, like, I keep hearing this noise, man, and I'm like, is something breaking or what is going on? Is something about to fall? It sounds like some kind of scraping noise. It's really weird. But yeah, man, it's a interesting situation nonetheless. Hold on, you're saying you do not understand. No investor ever can force faster recoup, right? Who the F spends $70 billion and thinks you'll make it back in not even a year's time? You're not making sense. Listen, I'm not saying the investors. All right, well, let me put it to you this way. Those of you who are familiar with Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, those of you who understand how Satya Nadella as a CEO operates, you understand why this is happening. This is how he has handled the company forever now. Well, not forever, but since he became the CEO, in like 2013 or 2014? I think that's when he became the CEO. Satya is all about, we want the investors to be as happy as they can possibly be. And if there's an area that we can improve upon to make them smile bigger, then we do that. That's how he operates. Like, I mean, you might be right in that, look, Microsoft can, if they want, Satya Nadella can turn to the investors and say, no, this is how we're going to do it. He can, but he's not going to, because you also have to understand Satya Nadella was the one who was considering axing Xbox in the first place. And I think this is something else that a lot of people don't understand. You're saying like every CEO ever. Obviously, yeah, but I'm just saying like Satya more so, he's never tried to hide it. I want to make that clear. Based off of my understanding, like from when I've been following Microsoft, like he's never tried to make it seem like, oh, I mean, of course they have their marketing where it's like, this is about empowering creators, of course, but it's also about your bottom line, of course. But I guess I'm just saying, like, people need to remember that Satya Nadella was the one who turned in 2016 to Phil Spencer and the entire Xbox team. And and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, listen, the investors are calling for your head. The investors want to know, why do you still have Xbox? This is the weakest link. They're dragging you down. They're not making money. It just seems like a side project. What is going on here? You're supposed to be a lean, mean, profit-driven machine. What's going on with Xbox? So Satya Nadella turned to Phil Spencer and said, that's exactly what he said. That they want you guys on the chopping block. And then Phil has to come up with a plan. And his plan is, well, how do we appeal to the Microsoft board? How do we sell the board of Microsoft on this so that they can sell the investors on this? Easy. Subscription. That's what Microsoft is all about. Subscription and services. Not a bad idea. The problem I think Phil finds himself facing right now is that it was a great idea and certainly one that saved Xbox, where yes, Satya Nadella said, you know what? This is going to work. Yeah, we can roll with this. Game Pass, the Netflix of gaming. Yes, this falls in line exactly with Microsoft's, massive ambitions as a company, right? The big problem I think that Phil Spencer is facing right now and all of Xbox is facing is that the plan that he proposed is simply going to take too much time and too much money. And the time has now come. It's like, 7 years later, 8 years later, give or take. The time has now come. We're like, listen, we're not waiting any longer. Like, we're going to start doing things to maximize revenue and maximize profitability. And those things are antithetical to the industry's normal practices, at least for console manufacturers and platform holders. This is why I've tried to explain to people over and over again that, dude, Microsoft does not care about the whining happening right now because they're going to be the biggest winner here. Potentially, in that, how much more money can we end up making? But I've seen other people claim that, well, it's not necessarily about Microsoft being the biggest winner. It's that this is a need now. They need to do this. It is a need. There is no more just kind of like, all right, well, it'll work when it works. It's going to take more time. Like, no, like we need to do this now. I think people are out of their minds if they think that, if you think that Microsoft goes into a $70 billion acquisition without very, very much so wanting to, we need to get this thing moving. Like, we need to expedite this process, trim the fat, figure it out, devise a plan. How do we maximize growth? How do we maximize a return? That's it. It's that simple. Like, and I don't know, man. It just seems to me like there's a little bit of a civil war going on inside of Microsoft, potentially. All right, let me see here. We have KT the GOAT saying, guaranteed you will say next week Xbox is lying when Phil announces nothing for PlayStation. LOL, you don't hand PlayStation a contract to just for Call of Duty just to go third party. See, here's the big flaw in what you're saying, KT the GOAT. The big flaw is, what was Microsoft's argument the entire time? Why did that contract even exist in the first place? The 10-year contract, that is. What was it that Microsoft was trying to tell the regulators, the CMA, the FTC? What they were trying to tell them the entire time is, we're not pulling this game. This game is staying multi-platform. It's not going anywhere. That was the whole point. And people at that time were saying, why would they lie about that? Of course, they're going to make the most money. Why would they willingly cut off a giant revenue stream, possibly the biggest, by just making Call of Duty exclusive? Whether it's 3 years from now or 10 years from now, it doesn't make any sense. So it turns out Microsoft was telling the truth, man, in that they had no intention of doing this. Or here's another one, and this is a pretty interesting one. Somebody else brought this up. They said, listen, maybe Microsoft's goal was initially to make Call of Duty exclusive after 3 years. That's a small enough time frame where, like, okay, we just got to wait 3 years and boom, lines up with next gen. We can make Call of Duty exclusive. We're going to fucking kill it. But then Microsoft finds out that, yeah, that's not going to happen. Why? Well, Sony's not signing the contract. Not only are they not signing the contract, but now we are getting massive heat on our ass from the CMA in particular, but also the FTC. And suddenly it just got a lot more difficult to make that a possibility. And I think once it became clear to Microsoft that you're not getting 3 years of anything, it's 10 years minimum, I think that's when they realized, like, whatever our initial strategy was of we're going to make shit exclusive, not going to work. Also, here's another thing, man. You're saying guaranteed next week I'll say Xbox is lying when Phil announces nothing. Look, I'm not going down this road of making bets or anything. All right? I will maintain my stance. My stance this entire time has been simply this. These are rumors and anything can change. I've maintained this stance because it's a smart thing to do. Why would I claim to know what's going to happen next week when I don't? But with that being said, I will tell you this. It is, in my opinion, wild to assume that the big announcement we're going to get next week from Phil is nothing's coming to PlayStation or Switch. I think that takes a lot of gumption, if you will, to plant your flag on that hill and say nothing's going to be announced for PlayStation next week, or nothing is going to come to PlayStation. That this was all just a big charade, and Microsoft just basically allowed their house to burn for a week straight to just say, Okay, I guess we'll put the fire out now. That, like, to me, that's kind of crazy. So, going back to the investor talk real quick, I'll give credit to Brown Sugar for saying this. Brown Sugar says he believes that no investor at Microsoft is necessarily unhappy. It's not a matter of them being unhappy. It's just that they don't want to wait that long for them to make that money back. And this kind of brings me back down to the saying, two things can be true at once. And this is very much, I think, a situation where, yes, it is true that Xbox is doing, or Microsoft as a company is doing incredible. The shareholders are likely very happy. But at the same time, they're like, we are very happy, but we really don't want to have to wait that long for you to make your money back on that. We would really prefer if you could speed that up. Both of those things can absolutely be true at the same time. We have Corey Landiga saying, "Gong, Xbots, rest in peace." I love how Corey rarely ever super chats, but when he does, he's got to make it count, bro. Corey's got to make it count. Corey's got to make those super chats count. I appreciate that, Corey. You're saying check Jez Corden. All right, let me read these two chats, and then I'll check on that. I am assuming he must have said something new, if you're asking me to check. For Reese Paul, you're saying you know nothing, insiders know nothing. All this drama is for nothing. Xbox is already the biggest third-party publisher in the world. We will know next week. Fabrice, I understand that, but like, you can't blame anybody for wanting to have these conversations at this moment in time. I understand that there are people who are very much not enjoying this conversation, and I get it. And, you know, for the people who are not enjoying these conversations, they want people to stop talking about it. The amount of replies I've seen from people, and I'm not saying this is you, Fabrice, by the way, I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of this past week, is these are baseless rumors, or imagine saying all this based off of rumors. What's wrong with having an extensive, in-depth conversation about a massive, potentially a massive announcement that's about to happen? What's wrong with just stating, yeah, these are rumors, and therefore they could change or they might not be true, and no one, at the end of the day, maybe no one knows what they're talking about, and things are in flux. But what's wrong with having the conversation? There's nothing wrong with having the conversation. I think where things become problematic is there are extremists who take things too far. I mean, I made a video earlier this week highlighting, like, I never thought this would be an article that I was reporting to you guys, where, hey, I just found a new article written up about the meltdowns that some people in the Xbox community are having. And it got to a point where when you get to the bottom of that article, there's even a developer or somebody from Microsoft saying they're like straight up getting threats in their DMs. And it's like, those are the people that we need to be turning to and saying, guys, these are just rumors. Like, the people going and selling their Xboxes and showing their receipts, that's some funny shit right there. I gotta admit, that is some funny shit. But like, those are the people that need to be informed. Guys, these are just rumors. Like, how many times do people need to reiterate that these are rumors? These, like, we don't know. The announcement hasn't happened. You know, like, just hold on now. But I told you, well, Fabrice, I don't know if you were here, but I said before we got into this conversation, yeah, I agree, Devil Shooter. There's a lot of evidence that seems to support many of these rumors, but just for the sake of maintaining stability and not leaning too much in one direction here, although I think it's clear which direction I want to lean in towards, I said before diving into this conversation that the reason why I'm talking about this is because there are updates coming from other insiders or some of the same insiders. And I know that if I don't cover them, people are going to assume that I am picking and choosing the rumors, because the reality is, here's another one. Ready? Another rumor comes from, check this out, Starfield going to other platforms is, quote, pure fiction, according to Nate the Hate. According to Nate the Hate, the source behind Hi-Fi Rush coming to other platforms, he says that Starfield coming to other platforms is pure fiction. Quote, I'm now of the belief that Starfield is not happening. Any info spread around was pure fiction. I'll own this miss. Now, he was the initial one to also claim, I see it here on Twitter. Okay, apparently I can't see his post now on Twitter for some reason. I don't know if I guess I'm blocked. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if I'm blocked. It says they limit who can see their posts. So I'm just assuming I'm blocked. I don't know. But anyway, he came out and said that Starfield is going to come to other platforms. And then he comes out and says, actually, that's pure fiction. I'm going to own this. And I can respect him owning up to it. That's great. But it's like, this just proves that no one knows anything. However, I am more likely to believe that the source he is getting this from doesn't know anything. Because this isn't actually Nate the Hate, whoever this is. This isn't actually him saying, hey, I'm internal. I know the scoop myself because I'm involved. No, he has a source. And his source basically came out and was like, yo, I heard Starfield's coming to PlayStation. The next day, yo, that's pure fiction. It's like, okay, you don't even know what's going on either. It's like, it's almost beginning to sound like the sources themselves are beginning to huff the copium here because they don't know. Can't blame them. They don't know, man. They're just as blind. So Fabrice, you're right in that way. And this is why this is why I'm talking about this, because what people will do is, if I don't let you know, hey, there was an update here. We talked earlier in the week or last week about Starfield being rumored to come to PlayStation. Here's an update. Now at least one insider is saying it's pure fiction. Because I already know what'll happen. People will come out and they'll come after me and be like, how come you didn't cover that? I'm trying to cover it all. All right, I'm trying to cover as much as I can to make it known that, like, hey, I'm not picking and choosing. And at the end of the day, I think, as I said earlier, we're all going to come to the same conclusion, which is, who the hell knows at this point? I mean, you even got to ask yourself, does Phil himself even know? I mean, you have to imagine at least Phil Spencer knows. If the head of gaming at Microsoft doesn't know, well, that's a whole nother level of fuckery going on there. So, let me see. There's still more here. Nate the Hate also said the same day, more than just Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves are going multi-platform. Nate says that Starfield isn't coming to PS5, but he states that there are more games than just Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. Apparently, some of these games have yet to be reported by others. It's reached ridiculous levels of, like, does any of this even matter anymore coming from these sources? It doesn't, dude. It doesn't matter. And while we're at it, let me check one more thing. Okay, I am now blocked by Jez Corden. That's great. That's fantastic. I haven't interacted with Jez Corden. See, this is how you know the shit is crumbling, man. Where it's like, I have said nothing. I just sat here in this stream. Listen, I just sat here in the stream and I saluted Jez Corden for saying he's going to take a step back from Twitter to protect his mental health. I saluted this man for doing that. Well, hey, you know what? Not a big deal. I get it. If I'm a person that has to be blocked to protect your mental health, I can dig it. But now I just got to know what he's apparently said. So I don't know. Irfan, Irfan, you told me to check on it, so I checked on it, and unfortunately, I can't see anything. So, but I just want to make it clear as well. I just want to make it clear, like, I don't care that much. I don't care that much about Twitter. I don't care about being blocked by people. It doesn't really matter to me because it's like, listen, if I've ever interacted with somebody, or if not a direct interaction, if I've ever slighted them, I could understand why I would be blocked. Like, I mean, like, aggressively slighted them. I'm not talking just being a little bit critical. I'm talking about being an ass. I've never done that to anybody. So, as far as I'm aware, anyway. Bro, you've been running hard with things that are unconfirmed. Xbox doomed energy. Well, let me ask you, what have I said that is... What claim have I made? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, I see people saying it's like, bro, you're like you're saying, it's like Xbox doom energy. What claim have I made? I haven't made any claims without first saying, like, just so you know, like, this is just speculation. These are just my thoughts. This is what I think could happen. This is based off of rumors. It's all projection, man. And it's reached nuclear levels of projection out here where it's like, dude, all I did on Twitter the other day, and the melt, like, I'm beginning to cause the meltdowns. I'm not even trying. I just pointed out, like, hey, here's some screenshots where they changed the wording and stuff. They removed the Xbox Series consoles, and they seem to have scrubbed the terminology and I put it in quotations, day one on Game Pass. Play day one on Game Pass. And they changed it, and that's it. People literally ran with that, saying that I'm reporting misinformation. And I'm like, where is the misinformation? Please enlighten me where the misinformation... And there is no misinformation. Because what people are doing is they're reading what they want to read. They're not... The reading comprehension doesn't exist. They're not saying... You're saying no need to explain. It's not even a matter of explaining. It's, if anything, I just got to show you guys how bad this shit is. Like, I didn't imply anything. I didn't report any misinformation. I showed them. Here are the screenshots. Here's what I'm observing. Here's the change that I've observed in these screenshots. Here you go. And what people are doing is like, you're saying there's no more games coming day one to Game Pass. Never said that. Never once said that. There wasn't even an implication. The implication came from Microsoft changing their website themselves. I didn't create the implication. But people are too stupid. They're either too emotional or too stupid to see this stuff. And it's like, listen, if somebody wants to say, well, you hate Xbox and you don't like it, you have your own bias, like, oh, wow, okay. So just because I don't prefer Xbox, I can't talk about what's going on. I can't show you a fact. It's crazy, dude. It's actually crazy how insane people are getting. But also, on the other hand, when you take a step back and think about it, it may not be that surprising either. Chris Brown knows. He says, I've seen your Twitter, MBG. People are so dumb and ready to pounce on you. It's insane. I know, dude. I had some guy tell me on Twitter that you get what you deserve. When I told him, like, just so you know, like, I had to let this guy know. I was like, listen, I put this tweet out where I told people, I was like, I don't really mind seeing the Xbox fan base melt down right now. And the reason why I don't mind is because, and I'm not talking about the entire Xbox fan base, I'm talking specifically about a group of people, you know who I'm talking about. They've been nothing but arrogant and rude and looked down upon people. Anybody who was critical, anybody who was skeptical, they get spit on or they get stomped on. They get made fun of. They just get othered, right? And I basically said, like, Now they spend an entire week shaking because they chose to eat up the marketing from people like Phil Spencer and the Xbox marketing team. They eat the marketing. They welcome it. They hang on every word. They eat up every word. And it's like, well, okay. Hard to feel sorry for you. Maybe if you weren't so arrogant. Maybe if you did welcome more skepticism. Maybe when somebody says, I don't know that the Game Pass model is sustainable, maybe rather than just completely dragging them and making it seem like they're just some kind of radical fanboy, maybe they'd be in a different position right now. That's all. That's all. And let me tell you, I did not get a good response to that tweet, but somebody was basically saying that, like, wow, you're really messed up for doing this. And I had to reply to them, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm not attacking anybody. Like, I didn't single out anybody, and I wouldn't do that. And I just had to explain to them, like, this is the first time I'm ever just making it known. Like, I don't feel bad for people who are, like, melting down right now, because it's like you brought that on yourself. And I had to make this person aware I haven't attacked anybody. It's all about, oh, you're just trying to play the victim. No, I'm not playing a victim. I don't give a shit. I expect to be attacked. I'm not stupid, right? That comes with the territory. But I had to make it known. I have not done any of the things that some of these people out here, not many of them, but some of them, you're talking just straight bullying, making fun of how people look, making fun of anything they can, and just build it, like getting people ravenous about it over video games. And I told this person, I've never done anything even remotely close to that. And this person responded by saying, you attack Xbox fans every day. Sounds like you're getting what you deserve. And I'm like, dude, it was in that moment that I was like, you know what? I got to check out. Because it's like, it's just, you realize, holy shit, I am talking to I would actually make more production in my life literally talking to a wall. Talking to a wall would be more beneficial and productive than anything I'm doing here. Because when I read that and I was like, yo, there are people agreeing with him. These people are beyond hurt, man. These people have taken my opinions, my speculations, my thoughts on a brand personally. And they are now happy to see. Or they were happy to see somebody like me have to deal with like certain levels of harassment that are like, I think you might be crossing a line here, but I get it. It's the internet. It's going to happen. And that's fine. It's not about playing a victim. It's about, you're really going to sit here and say that that's justified. Okay, I understand now. Gotcha. So I guess I'm saying anybody who's blocking anybody on Twitter, man, I don't blame them. Shit's getting absolutely out of hand. I've never seen it reach levels like this. And I just want to make this clear too. And I'll move on, because I don't want anybody to assume I'm making a blanket statement. I don't want to name names, and I'm not going to, but I'm talking about a very few select people, a small group of people that I'm referring to when it comes to taking things like crossing the line. Most, like 95 to 98% of people are not doing that. Okay? Just to be clear. All right, we have, let me see. Plus on Black, you're saying, doesn't it feel dope to choose a cool product that seemingly gives a damn about the customer and product? Xbox still ultimately is a burden on gaming, in my opinion. That's what, I've noticed that too, man, where like there seems to be some discussion about, it's not a lot of discussion, but I definitely have seen some people saying that they hope that Microsoft leaves gaming. Like they think that the industry would be better if they don't leave gaming, but they just go full third party. And I understand where that comes from to a certain extent, because I think where some of that comes from is it's like, okay, well, if Microsoft bows out, it's going to open the door for somebody else to come in. And I'm not so sure about that. That's the only, I guess you could say, downside that I can really see to, well, I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask. I guess there are multiple downsides, but to me, that's the biggest, hold on, there might be a problem with this. And the problem, I think, lies in that, right? That, oh, somebody else will take the place of Microsoft. It's like, probably not. I don't see another major player saying, you know what, Microsoft isn't making consoles anymore. They went third party. Let's try to do what they were doing, but do it better. It just seems like we're too far past that point now, where most companies are going to say, yeah, no thanks. So it's not that I want to see Microsoft completely leave the industry or leave the console market. I said earlier, and I'll reiterate it here again, I don't want to see Microsoft leave the console market. I don't. I could understand why they would at this point, but it would not be a bad thing, no matter what, to have another Xbox console. Even if Microsoft makes it clear, that we are not here to compete, just them having that console is better than nothing. It is, at the end of the day. It's actually, I think, no different than the Switch existing, where it's like, I don't think Sony feels like the Switch is a direct competitor, but I also think that Sony does care, to an extent anyway, about, how well the Switch is going to do, and what about the Switch 2, right? Which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So, Plus on Black, I appreciate the super chat. We have Jake Skew 27 saying inflation is 40% the reason why the price is up and never going. The rest is company greed coming from a retail worker. Yeah, inflation is a big thing too, where things have gotten kind of crazy, I would say, with inflation. They've gotten to a point where I don't think many people were expecting, at least from what I can tell. Inflation obviously impacts everything, and gaming is not immune to it. And to me, what's so strange, ultimately, and this is not a slight at Xbox, this is actually just strange to me, that Microsoft has leaned so heavily into we want to give you the best deal and the best value, and we want to basically save you money. And that is what that's why a lot of people propped it up. And they said, this is better. This is better because we save money. And I get it. I've always said to people that that's a good reason to care about Game Pass. I mean, obviously gaining access to a bunch of games for some people is a good enough reason, but also saving that money, the value proposition, yeah, I get it. I've never been against that. I've always been skeptical of it. But at the end of the day, I could always understand the logic behind it. But what's so weird is that all these rumors circulating and some kind of big announcement potentially coming next week that is going to shake up everything. A big part of this rumor and a big part of the reporting is that Game Pass just isn't doing it for Microsoft. And it's just so fascinating to me. That's you would think, especially now more than ever, that something like Game Pass would be thriving, not struggling the way it is. And it just seems like the market is saying something different. It seems like the video game market is basically think about it. Why would Microsoft want to start selling their games on other platforms? Because it's what the market is saying. The market is saying, we'll buy your games. Bring your games to us and we'll buy them. We're not coming to Game Pass, or at least not anywhere near enough of us are. And that's so fascinating to me because, like, when you bring up inflation, you bring up how expensive everything is these days. I agree. You know, it's crazy to a certain extent, but it's like, I guess maybe in a way, video games, not talking about mobile gaming, but like, you know, console gaming, PC gaming, they've always been there. Like, there's always been a barrier, right? Where it's like, you got to pay to gain access. You need to pay for a PC capable of gaming, and competently running them, and then you have to pay for the games themselves. You have to buy a console, which is usually at least a couple $100s, and then you have to buy the games on that console. And it's just, the market is conditioned to operate that way. And I think Microsoft really believed that if they just give people the better deal, like, we will cover it, we'll cover the cost for at least a certain amount of time, and our only expectation is numbers, volume, enough people to eventually raise that subscription number to a profitable level. And I think, I mean, I don't think I could blame Microsoft for being kind of shocked that, like, holy shit, even this didn't work. Or at least it didn't work in the time frame that we gave it. So, yeah, it just seems to me that the messaging is clear that the video game market, people will buy games, man. So thank you for that, Jake Skew. We also have Alex Mercer, the prototype, and he says, even though it's redundant, I'm still sticking with my Xbox. Even if I can play Xbox games on my PS5, I still enjoy their ecosystem for different reasons. And you're not alone, Alex Mercer. I think the biggest lie that will be told if Microsoft does go third party is that no one is going to buy Xboxes. No one is going to care about that ecosystem. I think that will be the biggest lie told, because it's just not true. There are absolutely people who are going to continue to play on the Xbox console, even if something like that happens, or who are going to stay invested in that ecosystem, even if something like this happens, for their own reasons, like you were listing here. You're saying you enjoy the ecosystem for different reasons. However, I just think the truth is, it's, you know, you're going to see a lot of hyperbole. Like, you're going to see people saying, like, no one is playing on Xbox or no one cares. And it's like, it's hard not to lean in that direction with such surprising, abrupt announcements, potentially, or rumors. But it reminds me of the Xbox has no games situation, where I've talked about this before, where it's like the whole conversation around Xbox between like 2015 and 2018 or 19 was just Xbox has no games. And I get it. Like, I totally understand why people came to that conclusion and just decided we're just going to use that to describe what we mean. But I feel like nuance was required for the sake of not allowing the toxicity of it to get out of hand. And, you know, hindsight 2020 and all. But it's like, it's not that Xbox doesn't have games. Xbox did have games. It's they don't have enough good games. Like, they just don't have enough games in general, but they also don't have enough good games. So it's the games that they are making are just not good, you know, or not, they just don't feel like they're doing it. And I think we're about to see a similar situation occur with the Xbox ecosystem itself, where I think the new phrase you might see people use is like, no one plays on Xbox, or, you know, Xbox is dead, or something like that. And I get it. I understand if these announcements happen the way they're supposed to happen. I understand where that comes from, but I do think nuance will be important. It'll be important to say that I think it would make more sense to say that Xbox as an ecosystem and as a console, if this happens, is about to become very niche. That's all. I think that'll be the best way to describe it. And I would actually like to establish that now. All right. I don't think that's a toxic way of putting it. I think that is, if it happens the way we think it's going to happen, what all signs are pointing to, if Halo comes to PlayStation, if Gears comes to PlayStation, and they're like, yeah, we're still making a console, by the way, it'll be, I think the most appropriate way to describe Xbox at that point is Xbox as a platform holder and console manufacturer will be extremely niche. That's it. I think that'll be the best way to describe it, because it's clearly not going to be dead. Makes me wonder if somebody will clip that. They will remove the term Xbox. I doubt it. Well, maybe. I don't know, man. How do you make another Xbox console and remove the term Xbox? That would be wild. That would be next level wild, even for Microsoft, where it's like, what? Maybe with some of their marketing, they'll remove the Xbox branding. Maybe shift it more towards Microsoft. Called a Microsoft console. That would be crazy. Yeah, you know what? That would be wild if they did that. That would be a bigger shift than even I would have expected, where it's like, we're calling it the Microsoft console. That would be insane. Sim Particle. You're saying here, you always said the premium would swing, or sorry, the pendulum would swing, and my God, it really is swinging. Yes, absolutely, man. And it will swing again. Make no mistake, Sim Particle. The pendulum swings back and forth. It is just the nature of life, of the world, of the universe, where it's like, nothing remains static. It's right now, things are down for Xbox, or Microsoft Gaming. I don't know what to call it at this point, but it'll swing back around, and it may just, settle in the middle for a little while. But yeah, the pendulum is definitely swinging in the other direction. Sony is gaining momentum. Sony had a great state of play. There's still, people are still wondering where Sony's first party announcements are, but this is, I think, really good news for Sony, because Sony's like, oh, good. Some of the heat is taken off of us now. Everybody's focused on what Microsoft is doing or getting ready to do. But yeah, man, I've always tried to warn people of this, that you can't dig in. You can't go in 100%, man. You can't. You just can't. Because if you do, you got to be ready for, you got to be prepared to die on that hill, man. And I've seen people, I've seen some people this past week being like, yo, I'm going down with the ship. And I'm like, it really doesn't have to be that extreme. If anything, I like to think that I kind of serve as a little bit of proof that you can just do what you want. People are like, yo, you used to be an Xbox fanboy. You're right, I did. And then I just wasn't. I said, you know what? This kind of sucks. Looks like PlayStation's pretty lit, right? They got a lot of great shit over there. I'm just going to go over there. And I was very happy. And I think that that just kind of proves, like, listen, man, if you're an Xbox fan, if you're an Xbox fan based off of the rumors right now saying, hey, I'm going to stick with Xbox because I just like it for my own reasons, good for you. Like, I'm not going to judge you. Like, cool. I hope you're happy. Genuinely. But if you're an Xbox fan that's like, I think I'm just going to get rid of my Xbox and maybe buy a PlayStation, can't blame you. Makes a lot of sense. Maybe wait for the official announcement before you do anything like that. But if the rumors turn out to be true, then sure. Why, that makes total sense. Dude, if they wait till Friday, oh my God. Dude, no way. People will literally lose their minds if they wait till Friday. No one's waiting till Friday. Somebody at Microsoft internally is going to lose their mind. Supremacy 101, you're saying Microsoft going third party isn't an issue. What could be the possible caveat of a required Game Pass subscription a la Ubisoft Plus or EA Access account or some form of it for the privilege to play their games? What say you? It's an interesting thought, Supremacy 101. Possible caveat required of a subscription. Well, I was listening to Sacred Symbols recently, and they had, I think it was Colin who stated something that I thought was really interesting. He basically said that this could be Microsoft's play of like another angle of trying to get Game Pass onto PlayStation, where it's become pretty clear by now that PlayStation is saying, no, we're not allowing Game Pass. Same thing with the Switch. But maybe what Microsoft thinks is if they can just kind of lean more into the third-party publishing side, like we are a third-party publisher, we're selling games on your platform now, so how are we any different than Ubisoft? You allow Ubisoft Plus. how are we any different than EA? You allow EA access, and it's actually quite an intriguing theory because it very well could be their angle, and that would be an angle that I wouldn't have expected, right? But it kind of makes sense in a way where if they do go full third party, but here's the thing. I still feel like as long as they're making a console, there's just no way. There's just no way Sony is going to budge. If there is no console and Game Pass isn't really, I don't know, even then, I think the biggest difference between Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus and EA Access is, as far as I'm aware, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, EA Access and Ubisoft Plus, like these subscriptions, they're just for their games. Their games. It's not about it. Like Ubisoft Plus is not trying to be the Netflix of gaming, nor is EA Access. It's just an option for you to interact with their games, specifically their published games, right? It's not like you're seeing third-party games on there popping up. So unless Game Pass is going to fundamentally change, which I don't think it is, but unless they're going to come out and be like, hey, we're no longer putting third-party games on Game Pass, it's just going to be our games, then I could see it happening. But I don't think Microsoft is going to do that. So that's my thought on that. I don't think that's the play necessarily. I honestly just think Supremacy, and anybody else who's wondering, I just think the play is as simple as Microsoft wants to make money off of sales. That's it. I don't think there's anything beyond that. They just want to make money off of sales. And you can't blame them because it's like people on PlayStation and Switch, they buy their games full price. You know, that to me, that's what Occam's razor tells me right now. The Zombie Fanatic, you're saying apparently Microsoft has been planning to do this since 2013. Well, I mean, I don't know that I buy that necessarily. Like, they were planning on doing it since 2013. I think Microsoft had big plans in 2013 for what they thought Xbox could be. This could have been a part of it, but I don't know that I necessarily believe that. Maybe to like a small extent, right? And ever since 2013, it's just grown more and more and more and more. And Supremacy 101, you're saying, and that's where buying more pubs comes into play. Yeah, I just should mention this as well, and we will move on to the next topic. I've spent, as usual, more time talking about this one specific topic than I had meant to, but I think something else that people do need to try to keep in mind, because I keep forgetting it myself, because there's just so much happening at one time, seemingly, is Microsoft's future plans for acquisition. If I were to ask you guys right now, just your gut answer, is Microsoft going to try to buy another publisher? Yes or no? Gun to head, Microsoft buys publisher, yes or no? I say yes, and I think instinctively a lot of people say yes, because what evidence is there to say otherwise? There is no evidence to say otherwise. We actually do have ample evidence that points to yes being the answer. In fact, even Satya Nadella himself said, oh yeah, we're not done. He didn't flat out say we're going to try to acquire another publisher, but he just said, yeah, we're not done. So I think there's also and that to me could be the biggest angle here, where when people say like to a certain portion of the Xbox fan base, like, you guys cheered this on, I think this is what they were cheering on. It is, you were basically cheering on Microsoft becoming the biggest third-party publisher in the world. So you can't really act that surprised when they decide, well, that's exactly what we're going to be, right? At least that's my thought process behind it. I think Xbox fans in their head kind of had this idea that those are our games now. all your games belong to us now, right? Like that and I get that. I think Phil Spencer and his team kind of fed that. I think they fed into that, like they leaned into that. But I think from the upper management, from the board of Microsoft, I don't think that they were leaning into that at all. I think that they were like, again, I just want to remind people a quote. Well, I don't want to quote him directly, but it's close enough to the quote where Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, said he doesn't like exclusives. He said if it were up to him, there would be no exclusives. He has no love for that world. That's Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, people. Okay? Like, I don't understand how I, as a PlayStation fan, am paying attention to that. Like, yo, did you guys hear what he just said? You guys heard that, right? And meanwhile, a certain portion of the Xbox fan base is like pushing back against me, being like, no, dude, you're wrong. Like, just stop talking about Xbox. You don't know what you're talking about. You hate Xbox. Guess what? We got Activision Blizzard now on top of Bethesda. Cry harder. It's like, okay. All right. That's fine. Like, you guys are like about to walk off a cliff, but that's cool. You're saying, yeah, but then Satya literally said, but PlayStation does exclusives, so we will also. Well, we'll see. I mean, he didn't really say it in that way. He said that, he basically said that we have no choice because of Sony. That's basically what he said. And he's not wrong, but like, at what point does Microsoft just say, why should we let Sony dictate what we do? We'll see. All will be revealed. I'm looking forward to it. Just because at this point, to be honest, the reason I'm most looking forward to it is just to put an end to it. So we know, like, okay, now we know what's happening. All right. So Irfan, you told me earlier to go check what Jez Corden had to say. And I found out that I was suddenly blocked again for the second time. So I'm on the Gaming Leaks and Rumor subreddit. Apparently, they're saying Jez Corden clarifies comments on Starfield, alludes to a Hi-Fi Rush sequel. He says he's also not stepping back from Twitter for Xbox reasons. So here's what he said. Just to add one thing, nothing to do with Xbox whatsoever or next week. I don't know what their plan is, but I still think the idea of her. Okay. All right, never mind. I thought this was like. Never mind. I thought it was like more. It's just his thoughts on it, so it's not that important. Anyway, all right. So that concludes this topic, and I hope. Will it be a live stream or a press release? That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. You're saying you think Xbox has something up their sleeve with this whole situation. All right, really quick, before we move on, what do you think it could be? What do you think Xbox has up their sleeve? It's a genuine question. Like, I'm just curious if there's some angle or some theory or something that I or others haven't thought of. Unless you don't know exactly, you're just suspicious of them. You just think that no, they have something. We won't. Sorry, my fucking voice just went. We won't get a clear answer. I mean, I would fucking hope we do. Dude, listen, I'm not playing that game. I'll play that game for a week, maybe two at most, but I'm not playing that game. Microsoft wants to come out here and dick around. I'm just gonna come to my own conclusions, and that's how I'm gonna go going forward. If they're like, well, maybe we don't know, fuck that shit. I've been dealing with that topsy-turvy, back and forth, flip-flopping nonsense from Phil Spencer and his team for like 3 years straight now. All right, this is it. The rubber's got to hit the road. This is why I've made it clear that here's how I'm going into this announcement. I have to go into it black and white here. I have to, because I'm tired of existing in this gray area. It's too exhausting. Yeah, Microsoft is straight up making my voice crack here. Listen, either they're opening Pandora's box or they're not. That's it. That's where I sit right now. I either walk away from that business update knowing some Xbox games were just announced to be coming to PlayStation, or I walk away from that business update saying no Xbox games are coming to PlayStation. That's it. That is it for me. That is as far as it extends. I don't care about the details. I do not expect Microsoft to come out, PlayStation getting Starfield, PlayStation getting Halo, PlayStation getting Gears, PlayStation getting Blade, PlayStation getting this, getting that. Like, no, I'm not expecting that. That would be stupid. Like, of course they're not going to do that. KT to Goat, you're saying it's weird you're even saying the Xbox community is toxic, but y'all out here doing victory laps of Xbox dying based on rumors. You're admitting you're set on a mindset of that's what they're doing. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? This is what I'm talking about. And MRPD agreeing with it. What are you guys talking about? Who the fuck is doing a victory lap? Like, are you talking about random ass comments from nobodies on Twitter or some shit? Or just what some people in the chat are saying? Because I'll tell you right now, man, I'm reading the chat and there's not really, like, it's not anywhere near what you're describing. Like, of course, there's some people trolling a little bit and having fun, but guess what? That's the nature of it. Xbox players do it too. Nintendo people do it. PC, everybody does it. Everybody does a little bit of trolling and nobody cares about that. But nobody's taking a fucking victory lap, dude. What you're getting confused with is people are looking at the fact that Microsoft is about to announce they're done competing. Don't you understand? MRPD, you're saying, please don't include me with that. All right. That's all it is. There's no, dude, listen, it's not a victory lap so much as it is people are asking the question. And of course, some people are answering that question, jumping to conclusions and coming to their own, assumptions. People are asking the question, like, is Microsoft done competing with Sony? That's the question. Because here's the thing. If Microsoft is done competing with Sony, then the victory lap is automatically taken, not even by the fan base, but just inherently in that the competition is over, people. And no one's necessarily, look, I know some people might be cheering that on, but realistically, most people are just like, well, this is kind of crazy. What does this mean? Right? Is there some excitement? Of course. And we have actually Trismegistus as I'm losing my shit once again. Actually, Trismegistus comes in, keeps the membership train rolling. Actually says, nope, don't forget about me. I got 5 membership gifts to drop. Actually, by the way, I don't know if you're just joining us, but I got to let you know, when this stream is done, we're doing a special members lounge today where I will be streaming gameplay of Helldivers 2 with my members. With my members. Okay? So, if you guys want to join me there, actually, if you want to join me as well as others, please look forward to that. Even if the servers are down, oh, fuck me. Are you telling me the servers are down? Okay, if the servers are down, that's going to throw a massive wrench into my plan. Oh my God. You guys are telling me this. They would. The servers would be down the one day. You got to be kidding me. All right, well, listen. It won't be for a little while. So I'll have to check. The servers are up. All right, now you guys are confusing me. I feel like you guys are like Microsoft right now. The servers are up, the servers are down, the servers are up and down. Like, which is it? Which is it? The servers are updating. It's been a little spotty, but I got on multiple times. Oh, dude, I got to give a quick shout out. This was funny as hell. I was playing Helldivers 2 last night, and I I had a fourth. The fourth person that was part of my group was a random, and they were like, "Yo, are you the real MBG?" And I was like, "Chat, you can chat," which I love that feature, by the way. I absolutely love that in Helldivers 2 you can just like type text and chat in that way. I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yo, I watch your streams and I watch your videos, man." And I was like, "Yo, that's awesome. That was so crazy." Like, and you know what the funniest thing about that is? That was like the first random person that I got as a fourth on my team. I played with like another squad earlier, but like when it was just like me trying to like actually play with Mrs. MBG and Brown Sugar and whatnot, I just thought that was so crazy. Like, what are the chances that this one person like happened to? And I got to give I think their name was Nightmare 420 or something like that with a K. So shout out to you, man. That was pretty cool. Unexpected. Is Helldivers 2 cross-platform? It is, yeah, between PlayStation and PC. So, but yeah, actually, thank you so much for the 5 memberships, man. Actually brings us up to 58 members on the day. So you guys are absolutely crushing it. What's my ship name? I think it's just Guardian of Peace or something. I should probably change it though. So all right, I guess what I will say is I will have to double check to make sure that Helldivers 2 is functioning properly before I do the put together the stream. I'm hoping it will be. Mother of Glory. That's awesome. Yeah, I gotta come up with a funnier name. Colossus of Wrath. I love it. Dude, I love the humor of Helldivers 2. I absolutely love it. It works so perfectly. Because this game, like if they wanted to, they absolutely could have taken this way too seriously. They could have taken themselves way too seriously. Song of Peace. Nice. All right, well, we're going to move on to the next topic, which does talk a little bit more about Helldivers 2. So if you guys could do me a big favor and hit that like button for me. We're sitting at 339 likes. Let's see if we can get to 350, and let's see if we can get from 350 to 400. Really quick. I'm sorry. It gets my attention because I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to understand. Katie to go replies to Devil Shooter saying, "We're speaking facts the way I told those guys to chill out and let you be. You'd never do or would the chat because the base is definitely toxic and want agreement or it's a problem." Well, listen, man, I'm not going to, I can only speak for myself. And my encouragement to my own audience and anybody here is to just, and I've always maintained this. This is why I find it difficult to believe, you're making it sound like my chat here is dude, I have people literally super chatting me. Like this guy, Alex Mercer says, "I'm sticking with my Xbox, even if I can play Xbox games on my PS5 because I still enjoy the ecosystem for different reasons." No one's hating on him. No one's being toxic to him. People are being very reasonable. Okay, yeah. Some people might ask a couple questions well, why not? What is it that you do like about the Xbox ecosystem? I'm not trying to make it sound like everybody here is innocent. And I'm sure even some people would admit that they're not. But I just think it's insane that, have you not seen some of just, the absurdity of some of the other stuff out there, dude? It is what it is, man. I'll end it with this. Guys, you know the deal. I expect people to be respectful in the chat. I don't mind people having a bit of back and forth and getting argumentative as long as it doesn't get taken too far, right? It's got to come, just agree to disagree. But I've always tried to make sure that we don't get out of hand here. And look, I can't help the fact that, yeah, if you check the comments on my videos, right, of when I was covering the Xbox rumor and stuff, you're going to see, even then, the comments I was reading, Like for every one like troll comment, there were like 5 or 6 of people actually being thoughtful in what they're saying. Granted, there might be a little bit of, spice in there, a little bit of attitude you can pick up, but no, you know what I mean? Like people were not nearly as bad as even I was expecting. And that's a good thing because it just goes to show, man, I think that at the end of the day, it's like, that's not really what this was ever about. Did I see all the attacks on, for some reason I can't see on Phil and Sarah from the Xbox. Yeah, that's where I'm saying, like, shit just is getting ridiculous where it's like, they're just people at the end of the day, man, they're doing their job. Like, they're not, it's the whole parasocial relationship of it, man. Got to unhealthy levels, very unhealthy. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the next topic now, which talks about Helldivers. I have 2 articles to go over with you. The first is from Push Square. They say, we've got to be honest, this was not on our bingo card for 2024 at all. Helldivers 2 has blown up big time, and it continues to climb the Steam's most played charts, now peaking at almost 120,000 concurrent players, with presumably bigger numbers to follow as the weekend goes on. This means it's now PlayStation's biggest ever PC launch, greatly outperforming even God of War. Of course, there's a key qualifier to consider here, namely this is a rare day-and-date release on PC from PlayStation Studios, while God of War was ported several years later. Sony said that it's not going to abandon console exclusivity, but it has suggested live service titles like Helldivers 2 will be day one launches on PC alongside PS5. The strategy appears to be working as intended in this instance. And so the second article here, I came across this from Gaming Bolt. They say despite some matchmaking issues at launch, Arrowhead Game Studios' Helldivers 2 is performing well. And so it references the peak concurrent players. But it says sales-wise, studio CEO Johan P is what I'll call him because there's no way I'm pronouncing that last name, revealed on Twitter, quote, "We are around 1 million right now," end quote. Whether Sony will release a statement about how well it's selling, it's hard to say, though he never understood why it would be a secret. However, he also confirmed that the developer is blowing through the estimates, at least. As for the sales split between PC and PS5, it's about 50-50, which is really interesting to me. Things are moving so fast right now. So to me, there's some really interesting stuff here. Obviously, Helldivers 2 was never going to do like Pal World numbers or something like that, but it's really good to see that it's doing, I think, a lot better than people expected. Even Arrowhead themselves is saying like, yo, we are blowing past our internal estimates. And that's a great sign. It means that the game is outperforming even their best estimates, which means that it's a success. You have to assume that those estimates were also in line with what Sony was expecting. The most interesting thing to me here is sales are split 50-50 on PS5 and PC. This seems to reveal that at least for the live service games, Sony is definitely making the right choice by launching them on PC day one. Now, it obviously begs the question, would we see the same type of split if a single player game, say like Wolverine or something, launched day one on PC? Would the split be 50-50? I'm not so quick to assume that the answer to that would be yes, but just definitely something to think about here. I think at the very least, Sony is feeling much more confident in their decision to release a live service game. Because think about it, like if 50% of their sales are from PC, and they're saying that they're at about 1 million sold right now, that means they would have only been at about 500K if they just, or maybe not 500K, maybe like certain people on PC, maybe 600 or 700K. Or maybe not. I don't know. I guess the real question is how many people bought it on PC because it's just available on PC. How many of them would have said, "Nah, I'm gonna go on PS5 and buy it now," or I don't know. We don't know. All we know is that it's doing well, and I'm really happy about that because the game is really good, man. Helldivers 2 deserves all the success. You're saying we don't have the PS5 numbers yet? Well, then where's that coming from? Why are they saying 50-50? Does that mean that roughly 75K CCU on PS5 because Steam is sitting at nearly 145K right now? Either way, that's fantastic number. Those are fantastic numbers. Congrats. I'm enjoying the game so far. He says it's about 50-50. Things are moving so fast right now. So he did reply saying it was 50-50. But I guess it is hard to kind of keep track when things are moving at that pace. Full Sweat Tryhard says, remember when the narrative by the bots was, quote, PlayStation couldn't make a good multiplayer game or shooter, end quote. Helldivers 2 drops. How ironic. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, this gives me... Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not... Honestly, it's not just like X-bots, so to speak, that were saying that. It was a lot of people. And I'm happy to see that... Oh, you're saying you meant player numbers. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Irfan. Yeah. I'm really happy to see that Helldivers is a good game. Like I had a strong feeling about this game. I really did. Like from the day it was revealed, I'm like, this game has a lot of potential from what I can tell. And I am surprised to see it doing so well because they're really, I'll be honest with you, man, there was like no hype around this game. Yeah, dude, everything about it is the weapon. I love the weapons, man. I use the heavy machine gun, or it's like a lighter version of a heavy machine gun. The Stalwart, I guess is how you say it. That shit is fun as hell to use. You just hold down the right trigger. And dude, let me tell you, the haptic feedback and specifically in the triggers is really good in this game. Like it's not too strong. It's not too weak. It's perfect. I love it. And I just unlocked this new assault rifle in the... Oh, also really quick. I've been seeing some people, not many, trying to accuse this game of being pay to win. Like, what? I'm convinced that people who are saying that aren't actually playing the game or have not played it for more than an hour. The game is not pay to win. It's not. The only premium items as of right now that I've seen are cosmetic. And there's not many of them. And they change every couple of days. And here's the thing. I bought a premium cosmetic without paying any money. They gave me credits. Like by just playing the game, I unlocked premium credits and I bought what I thought was a cool looking skin. I didn't have to pay anything. So I'm like, what the hell are people talking about? Like, I'll be honest, man. You're saying they're not cosmetics at all? Are you saying because there's different categories of armor? There's light, medium, and heavy. Is that what you're trying to say? Because I haven't seen any weapons or anything. Maybe, I mean, okay, maybe that's true, I guess. But even then, it's like you're talking about, like, I have light, medium, and heavy armors. And I didn't have to pay any money for them. And they don't make that big of a difference, to be honest. They have, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have the same effects as the free skins. It is, yeah, to me, it is cosmetic, dude. Like, for example, the armor that I bought that's premium, it falls in the medium armor category. It has the same exact stats and buffs and bonuses as like 10 other armors I have. It's just the literal look of the armor that changes. I'll be honest, man. I just think that people are trying real hard to find something wrong here, and there's nothing like they have, I guess, what you could call a battle pass, but you don't pay for it. Like the battle pass is just there, and you get, what are they called? The war bonds or the war medals or something? I forget what they're called. They're the yellow currency. You just get them by playing the game, and you just get to unlock stuff. Like it's just saying, just play the game. The grind isn't even that bad. If anything, it's just trying to encourage you to like go to higher difficulty levels to get better at the game. Game is trash. You didn't play it, Kevin. I'm bullshit. You didn't play it. You didn't play it. Game is trash. You didn't play that shit. Get out of here. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Damn it. You're saying the armor does have stats, like the light armor makes you faster, throw farther, and better stamina regen. But you can buy them all with money you make from just playing. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I have a light armor, and I got it just by playing the game. I didn't pay anything for it. And sometimes I use it. Have I watched the Rise of the Ronin behind the scenes trailer yet? Not yet. No, I have to get on that. I'm not saying Helldivers 2 is like the best game ever made or like the best multiplayer game. I'm not saying it, but it's very good. Like it's a well-made game, man. It's a well-made game. And we have actually Trismegistus coming in again. Keeping the membership train going strong, dropping 5 more membership gifts for you guys. Actually, hold on. I have to just take a drink here before this spills over. Here's to your 5 gifts, man. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Actually brings us to 63 members, guys. So we are making our way. Are we going to do it? Are we going to make it to a third goal today and hit 75? We will find out. Glucose water? No, it's a liquid IV. Trying to stay hydrated. You're saying IGN doesn't have a review out yet? Dude, I don't need a review from IGN. I'll be honest, like this is one of those games where I didn't need a review from anybody because I just knew it's one of those rare games where I'm like, well, I guess it's not that rare, but I just had a feeling like, look, I don't know exactly how this game feels to play, but I'm watching it closely and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Like the only way I would have ended up disappointed is if I played it and I'm like, this doesn't feel anything like I expected. But yeah, I'm playing it. I'm having a really good time. And like I said, man, there's a learning curve here. But I'm enjoying that learning curve because it's satisfying. Like to increase the difficulty, master that difficulty. It's nice. Master the nuance required within the teamwork. I think there is a lot of nuance there. And so IGN could come out and give it a 2 out of 10. I don't give a shit. I'm still playing it. If the servers are still down, God, come on, Arrowhead. Come on. I'm rooting for you. Get it together. I hope they can fix it really soon if the servers really are down. Not only because I wanted to play with members today, but because I don't want this to negatively impact the game. I don't want to see people like walk away from it. They're going to lose players, you know. But yeah, I also want to talk about. So there's a couple of other things I want to say about my impressions of Helldivers 2. I want to talk about the look of the game. So I think Helldivers 2 is actually a really, really good looking game. And you know what game it reminds me of the most? It reminds me of Returnal. Like the different planets and the different biomes, I think they look great. And it's funny because some of them are kind of like. It's funny how the terrain of a planet like really does impact your gameplay. Like when you're on that planet, I think it's called Heath. It's a snow planet, and it's like running can be kind of annoying because you're in snow. You're in like a foot of snow, and you feel that. But then you're in another planet where it's like just super hot, and you can run just fine, but your stamina goes down a lot quicker. And there's just these different little things like that. Like you absolutely have to pay attention to going into a match, because if you don't, like it could very well be the thing that screws you over if you're not ready. The effects of the game look good. I'm playing it in performance mode and it doesn't look perfect. You know, like they have the option to turn anti-aliasing on or off. I think I have mine turned off. I turned the motion blur all the way off as well, but it still looks good. Like the art style, generally speaking, I just really think that they nailed the look of this game. But something else I really like about this that I think makes it really unique is the way that they handle unlocking like new planets. And yeah, oh my god, yeah. So fighting the automatons, actually, dude, I was like, this is Terminator. I was just like straight like this is straight up Terminator. Both studios are from Scandinavia. Oh yeah, dude. I think Sony should seriously consider acquiring Arrowhead, because I think they really proved themselves here. Yeah, the automatons are pretty freaky. Some of the bigger bugs that you face are pretty scary. Like there's this one, a bunch of Arnolds. Yeah, there's this one. You love it when you liberate 0.0000010% of the planet. Hey man, are you doing your part? Are you doing your part? It's like Terminator mixed with Star Wars. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I really was freaked out by this. Not freaked out, but I was playing on the challenging difficulty, and I was on the planet Heath, and I kept encountering with my squad this enemy. It was this bug. I don't know the name of it, but it was like this big armored charger bug where like it didn't really stay still. It would just charge at you, and if it hit you, you're just done. And it was just so interesting how it was my first time like playing against that type of enemy, and I had not encountered an enemy that powerful. And the teammates I was playing with, thank God they knew what the hell they were doing, because I was just like, yo, nothing I'm doing is hurting this thing. Meanwhile, they're over there like efficiently as a team, like they got the rocket launcher, one teammate's loading it in, the other's firing it, and they're just like taking him out like it's nothing. I'm like, damn, I got to get good here. Also, I just love the way you can die in this game. Like, I love that it can be frustrating. It really can be, but it's also funny. Like, the game is just comical to me. Like, I'm just, with a squad of people, and I'm hearing like one of my teammates like screaming like freedom, and then they just like their voice just cuts off because they just got like blown up or something, or just sliced in half, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. I just love. There's so many different things I like about this game. I like, again, the fact that you unlock new areas and planets with the community where everybody's working together. Have I experienced the hell bomb yet? I have not. No. One of my teammates used I forget what it's called. It's like the 120 millimeter cannon or something, where it's just like explosions in a massive area. It's like you definitely got to tell people when you're using that. Yeah, it's a fun game, dude. The hell bomb is crazy. I've not seen that yet. I got to see the hell bomb. I also haven't gotten past challenging difficulty yet. I know the next difficulty level after challenging is hard. Have you tried leaving a mission area to see what happens? Don't you just get like bombed or something like that? If you leave the mission area, or if you're too far out of the zone. Get some. Get some. Shout out to the voice actors of the game. The mechs are going to be fun. Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. That they are bringing the mechs in. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I am very excited to see like the roadmap of this game, like what other content they're going to have, because like there's a lot of content here. And just thinking of the crazy stuff that they plan to bring down the line, I can only imagine. And I got to give a shout out to Mash. Mash decides he wants to become a channel member, and he does so. I'm assuming it's his first time being a channel member here. Welcome to Greatness Awaits, Mash. Let's get some W's flowing in the chat for Mash. He brings us up to 64 members on the day. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy your membership, Mash. We do members lounges very frequently, so you now have access to that. And you also now have the ability to gift memberships yourself. So good stuff, man. Does it seem like the game will have staying power? I'm considering buying it to play after the stream. That's a good question. I mean, Here's what I think. I don't think Helldivers 2 is going to be like a massive live service game that blows up and there's like consistently 300,000 or 400 or 500,000 people playing it. I don't think it's going to be one of the most talked about games. But what I do think is the game, it is, again, it's pretty unique at what it does. And it's not, this is, to me, Helldivers 2 is not a pick up and play game. Like, it's not just a game you can just pick up and play. And I think it's a game that if you just go in with that mentality, it can be a little bit frustrating because you learn real quick. Like, there are rules here. Like, there are things you got to learn. And there's a learning curve. So what I think is that the player base will stay strong for a long time. I do think that. I don't know if it's going to have, like, I guess if you're saying staying power, I think it has staying power, but I don't think it has that chance of like kind of exploding and becoming like the next big thing. But I don't think it needs to. In fact, I think that this is perfect for a game like this, right? Where it's like it's off to a better start than even the developers were expecting. I think that gives it the chance to have more staying power than people expected. They're going to support the game for at least a year. If by the end of year one support, they still have a solid player base, then they'll definitely do more support for year two. At least that's my assumption. Hen, I did not see that. You're saying, did you see PC has 2 times the amount of players as PlayStation? It's a 66-33% split. That's not what I saw. I just read from the CEO that's apparently a 50-50 split. That would be surprising, though. I would be pretty surprised if more people were buying it on PC than console, just because it's like, I don't know, man. The marketing was along, it was all PlayStation marketing. You're saying it's already the next big thing. I would love for it to be. But I think it falls right in that category that Sony, I think, should be focused on with their live service games, where it's like, don't purposely try to make the next big thing, because I don't think anybody really ever succeeds trying to make the next big thing. I think the next big thing just happens naturally and organically, and just focus on making a quality game experience. And that's what Helldivers 2 is. It's not perfect, it's not like a perfect game, but no game really is. It's just a quality, fun game that I think anybody who is paying any attention to it has an idea of what it is, You're saying it's around 66% on PC. That's interesting to me. Yeah. You want more PC games ideally than console. I think they tend to stay longer for service games. I agree with that. Yeah, so Helldivers 2 is broke like instantaneously all the records for previously released PlayStation games, which to me that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Absolutely. I mean, when you consider like because that's the thing, man. Live service games that Sony is funding or developing, they have to try to appeal to as many people as possible and inflate that player base. So them saying we got to launch this day one on PC, it's a smart move, man. It's a smart move. Happy to see it. Do you think this affects the way they view PC players? Not really. I don't think so. It's hard to say. Everything I'm about to say is just my own speculation, of course. I have no idea how Sony really feels, but my assumption is that it tells me that Sony knew this already, right? Like they kind of knew, like, hey, we should launch Helldivers 2 day one on PC alongside console, as well as Concord and other live service games we make, because these games probably appeal a little bit more to the PC player base. If not appeal a little bit more to them, they'll stand a better chance, to whereas I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think Sony is looking at games like Helldivers 2 or Concord or any other live service game for that matter as a reason to, like, this is why you would buy the PS5. We're using this game to sell the PS5 and get you in our ecosystem. I don't think that's a smart idea. I think it's actually kind of counterintuitive, right? Like saying we want to make a game that requires a large player base, but we also want to use that game to sell consoles. It just doesn't add up. And we have Laurent. Laurent comes in out of nowhere. I saw that you joined us in the chat, and he comes in and he says, yo, I want to drop some gifts for some of the community here. He drops 5 more membership gifts for us guys. Laurent gets us to the coveted 69. 69 members. Laurent does it. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. I appreciate the support, bud. Let me add that to the counter. Guys, we are now just 6 away. We are 6 members away from hitting another goal. You guys are insane.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff there.
Appreciate it.
Also, I am going to have to, because we've already passed the 50 mark, or maybe I should say, if we hit 75, I'll do some reps. I got a new MGS theme lined up for you, okay? I don't know. I hope Corey's still here. I hope he's still watching, because I know Corey loves his MGS theme. Yeah, Stellar Blade's doing really well too, man. Stellar Blade apparently is like topping the pre-order charts. And dude, Exley comes in again. Exley's like, here's 5 more for you guys. Exley Trismegistus dropping 5 more gifts, bringing us to 74, guys. 74, and just like that, Toolman55, he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the one to get us to 75. Toolman55 follows it up with a gift of his own. Guys, you just shattered another one. You just shattered another one. Let me tell you, I worked out my arms yesterday, and I did a pretty damn intense workout. I'm feeling it today. Normally, my arms don't really get sore, but I'm feeling it today. Good stuff, man. Thank you guys so much. And as I'm updating the goal, we got MASH. You love to see it, dude. MASH comes in and drops 5 membership gifts of his own. I want to specifically highlight MASH just for a moment because he just became a member. MASH just became a member and then also decided he wanted to gift 5 memberships. MASH, big shout out to you, my friend. Big shout out to everybody dropping membership gifts. This community is awesome. And then Paul Ganell comes in and drops a membership gift as well. Paul Ganell keeping this membership train going. I'm glad I caught this before I updated it. We're now sitting at 81 members gifted today. Amazing. Let me get this where it's got to be so you guys can see it. And I definitely owe you guys some reps today. Absolutely. I 100% owe you guys some reps. That's incredible. Over 80 members. Never ceases to amaze me how generous and awesome this community is. So, again, just a reminder to anybody who was gifted memberships, man, you now have access to the members lounge and other benefits. Also, okay, so I guess it's fine to let you guys know about this. It's not a big deal. So I will be doing a refresh. I don't know when exactly. Like, it could be a couple weeks from now. It could be a couple months from now. I am in the process of it, though. I just don't know the timeline for it. But I basically am planning on doing a refresh for the art across the channel, like from top to bottom, or as much as I possibly can, including membership stuff as well. So that's my goal, basically to make it a little bit more unique and, just kind of more personalized in a way. So you guys can look forward to that as well. Just a little tease. Just a little tease. Emojis. We'll see. We'll see. Where's the merch? Come on, bro. I know. Trust me. I have plans for the merch. I just want to make sure everything is where it's got to be first. You know, I got to line these things up. The timelines are tough, man. I'm crunching over here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not crunching, but are the Jim Ryan emojis going away? No, I think a Jim Ryan emoji will come back at some point. I think it will. Yeah, don't worry. I'm definitely going to be working on some merch. We got some stuff cooking. Don't worry. But I'm excited for it. I am, because I feel like, you know, we've been doing this for a little while now, and I think we've kind of reached that next level. At least I feel like. I feel like there's definitely been things that I've been experimenting with and doing over the past year on the channel that I never would have thought I would have ever done. And, you know, you guys are pretty much the reason for that. This community, the funding, the support, the enthusiasm, and the motivation. So thank you guys. We need to Tokism emojis. I got to be careful with that one before people really think, you know, we're actually a cult here. So thank you guys so much for that. By the way, we're sitting at 379 likes, guys. We are just 21 likes away from hitting 400. Yeah, I need to take our relationship to the next level. You're saying in 5 years, MBG will be a millionaire with his own energy drink. Dude, I really have thought about, like, I should maybe consider reaching out to, like, certain fitness brands or whatever, seeing, because, like, I literally lift weights on stream, you know? Like, seeing if I can get a sponsorship with, like, a company that makes a protein powder that I like. I should make my own protein powder. MBG way. MBG way. I have no idea where to even, that sounds so overwhelming to me. I would not even know where to begin. But long-term goals, guys, long-term goals. Like, who knows where we could go? The sky's the limit. There could be a day where I'm selling my own supplements. I love it, though. Make sure it's a healthy one. Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm okay with a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. You know, I'm okay with a little bit of sugar, just a little bit, a couple grams, just to sweeten it up a little bit. Liquid IV. I'm drinking Liquid IV right now. I should see if I could get a sponsorship with, I don't know, I guess something that would make sense, like one of these companies that they make these electrolyte drinks. Because I drink Liquid IV, I drink Element. Stuff's actually great. It's a little bit pricey at times. But if you're somebody who struggles with proper hydration and electrolyte balance, it makes all the difference. Slim Jims. Yeah, I should get, oh my God, I should get a sponsorship with Slim Jims. Dude, I think one time Slim Jim's official account replied to me on Twitter. So there we go. But that's not healthy. I don't think I could advocate for Slim Jims, though, in all seriousness. Because I just feel like, that's too unhealthy. You know, like, I am trying to promote health here. You know, that's one of the reasons why, I mean, obviously I'm doing it. I'm trying to have fun with it, but I don't know. My hope is, like, trying to encourage people to exercise. The truth is, man, look, exercise is it is so, I know it's different for everybody. Like, you know, everybody has their own circumstances. Some people are maybe not as capable due to physical limitations, but movement and exercise is so important. It's like the single most important thing in life. It is, like, the quickest way to basically ruin your life is, or not ruin your life, but ruin your health potentially, is to just not move, to just sit still and not move, you know? So, believe it or not, me doing a little bit of weightlifting in between my streams, it's for me too, man. Like, sometimes I think, like, damn, I'm sitting here sometimes for 4 or 5 hours at a time, not really moving that much. I gotta start moving more. I gotta start getting my hand movements going. But I appreciate you guys. I do. You deal with my shit. You put up with all my shit. Brad Beck comes in and he says, would it be a fair assessment to say Helldivers 2 feels like a mix of Returnal and a MAG? They're two of my favorite games, and any other games to relate to it. Returnal, I agree with. Returnal for me feels like if you replace the fast, speedy movement that you have in Returnal with something heavier, more grounded, That I do feel. Mag, I can't speak to because I've never played Mag. So I got to refer to the chat here. Guys, would you say that's a fair assessment? Is Helldivers 2 in any way, shape, or form like Mag? And Brad Beck, on top of that, gives a membership of his own here. Brad Beck drops another membership, and he brings us up to 82 on the day. You guys are keeping the membership train rolling. Thank you so much for that, Brad. So I agree with the Returnal side. I don't know about Mag, though. Mag was a first-person shooter, wasn't it? Okay. I love it. Really quick, Disco Cobra, I'm going to read your chat. I just got to read Arnie Vespers first. He says, name idea for your future supplement. No way, Jose. Something tells me that would get me canceled. Arnie, I love the enthusiasm behind the idea, but something tells me that would get me canceled. No way, Jose. That's so funny, dude. I turn away for 1 second. Corey the Legend comes in and drops a 20 bomb. He drops a 20 bomb out of nowhere and he crushes 100 members. Guys, W's in the chat.
Holy shit.
For Corey the Legend Landiga.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Corey does it, bro. Corey's like, I need to hear that new MGS theme you got going on there. Really quick, before I do some reps for you guys, because I know you've been waiting. We got Disco Cobra 2013. Dude, thank you so much for the $20 super chat as well. Disco Cobra, I appreciate all the super chats, man. You're saying here, you care if we know what we're doing in Helldivers 2. I might need some good strats. Do you voice chat with people or just play without? Would be cool to chat a bit. So when it comes to the voice chat, and so I can tell you right now, and I'm just going to lay it out. Assuming the servers are working, I'm not going to be in the chat. Well, I kind of will be. It's going to be a weird thing because the way the chat works in this game is it's proximity based, or it's just if you're not in a party, you can just chat. So what's going to happen is you guys will be able to chat, and I will hear you. But I also am going to be talking into the mic to the audience, so I will be responding to what you say. Although there might be a little bit of echo if you're trying to listen into the chat while you're playing or the stream. But I've never done anything like this before, so I also listen. I also want to make it known that like there are some of you that have supported the channel in a huge way, and I want this to be as random as it possibly can be. And I'm going to do my best to do that. But don't get me wrong. Like, if you're somebody who I know for a fact, like if you've been on the top donor list, like, you know, a couple of times or more, or, you know, you're just there at all, and you basically say, oh, I would like to play, I'm going to find a way to make that happen. Because to me, that only feels right. You know, I mean, I know some people will be like, oh, is that preferential treatment? But it's like, well, they earned it. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. I want to make it as fair as possible to where anybody who's a member can have an opportunity. That's the only problem is it's just, here's what I'll say. I'm going to continue to hopefully do streams like this. It's not just going to be, or at least I don't plan for it to just be a one-time thing. I want to do more members lounges where it's me playing with members and future games too. Helldivers 2 to me is the start, but games like Concord and others. And so we need Nat merch. Oh my God, that would be funny. Gaming Survivor. I didn't even think of that. That would be some funny ass merch. What if I pay 75 grand? You pay me 75 grand, I'll just let you have my channel for the rest of the year, bro. I'm just going to take off if you don't mind. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But to answer your question, Disco Cobra, I'll be honest, I'm not going into playing with my members assuming like you guys are pros, right? Maybe I'm assuming there are going to be some people that are playing a lot better than me. I'm assuming there are going to be some people playing a lot worse that are still just learning the ropes. And that's just it. And so, yeah, it's going to be tough. Like I just don't want anybody to get upset if they don't get the chance to play. Because again, I'm only going to be able to do up to 3 people in a match. And the matches can last anywhere between 15, 20 minutes all the way up to 40. I usually finish my missions at around like the 20-minute mark or so, 25 minutes. So I don't know. People are saying this servers are down for maintenance. So it's like, damn. Yeah, worst case scenario, we're going to have to make a pivot. If we can't play Helldivers 2, we're going to have to play some Dead by Daylight. Somebody who was a gaming survivor says, put him on the hook, MBG. I'm going to have to kill you guys in Dead by Daylight. All right? Let me update the member goal, and then I gotta give you guys some reps. So Corey Landiga with the 20 bomb gets us over 100 members. We're sitting at exactly 102 memberships gifted today, which is insane. Thank you guys so much. In all seriousness, I say it over and over again, and I will absolutely continue to say it as long as it remains true. If it wasn't for your support, if it wasn't for the funding that you guys show the channel, I wouldn't be able to do this. So Corey's like, damn it, I need to hear that new MGS theme. All right, let me get it set up. Am I rotating the squad every mission or every operation? I'm planning on doing it. If this works out the way I'm hoping, I'm planning on basically what's going to happen is I'll invite 3 people in. We'll play a mission. And when we extract from that mission, or if we die, I'm going to kick those 3 people and invite 3 new people in. That's the way I hope to do it. This could look, I'm just letting you know now. Again, I've never done anything like this. This is the first time. If it works, it could be a shit show. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. All right, here we go. I got to do some reps for Corey and everybody else. Corey's desperate. He's like, I need to hear that MGS theme. I think it's a good theme. Let me know if you can figure out which game it's from. Hold on. It should play. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to remember which one I set it to. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Is it playing? Oh, okay, here we go. Hold on. Yo, now that theme gets you fucking pumped, bro. Let me tell you. Don't give up. I'm more concerned about how winded I'm going to get. Let's see. Hold on. We'll just do more. Hold on. Ignore that one. I'm going to break a sweat. I am breaking a sweat. Saying I did like 2 reps? That was not 2 reps. Are those 50s? Yes, those are 50s. What do you mean 2 fucking reps? This guy serious? Bro, you did 2 reps. Hold on. I got one for you. Hold on, let's see. If this is the one I think it is. How many of you guys like Van Halen? I don't know if this is the right one. Fucking long is this song? I'm holding the line here, boys. Oh my God, it's still going. Going. This one's for Sony, bro. Sony, Jim Ryan, Mark Cerny. We're doing it. Wait. I'm fine. Preserve our democracy. Now dance. Bro, before I try to do anything, I'm going to drop. For freedom! Show us the abs now. There are no abs. Dude, I'm so winded. I went nonstop there, bro. Fuck. That was a legit workout. Short, but high intensity. Look at that. Fucking caffeine. You could tell though. I'm getting there. I didn't even have to try. I didn't have to try to do more. I just want to do. Probably going to be eating like shit tonight for the Super Bowl, so had to make a little bit more room there, if you know what I mean. Dudes here are treating you like an OnlyFans girl. Hey, man, listen. I'm inspiring them. Okay? People are going to see this like, yo, I've been seeing MBG hit those weights. Maybe I'll pick up a weight or two. The days are going to come. I'm just going to come on stream with the fucking... I'm not even going to come on stream with the Speedo. I'm just going to I'm going to have like the tearaway pants. I'm just going to take the shirt off, tearaway pants, and just straight up. Listen, if I get to that point where I'm on camera with the Speedo, just full blown flexing, then yeah, I've gone too far. We've gone too far, guys. One day though, you are gonna see me just straight up move this sofa out of the way. I'm gonna bring out a bench. Or start doing some like fucking different types of lifts. Please don't. Yeah, no. What'd you think about those tracks though? What'd you think about the dude, I feel like that MGS track. I feel like that MGS track actually goes harder than the first MGS track. That one's from Metal Gear Solid 3 when you're trying to make like your escape from I think Groznygrad. Shit gets me hyped, dude. And then we got I'm afraid, I hope this stream doesn't get a copyright because that track was not actually Van Halen, but holy shit, it sounded exactly like a Van Halen song. Slipknot would be better. I have some tracks that sound a little bit like Slipknot. We Need Devil and I tried to look to see if some of these songs, if I could like license them. Maybe I have to look around a little bit harder, but I couldn't find any. I was thinking about trying to do that, like license some real songs to use. Bet you bench press 300 pounds. Yeah, okay. In the room here, yeah, I could see how that would go. Anybody want to see MBG like die on stream accidentally? Saying sounded like Satch. Never heard that song? We'll just kill. I got a few different ones. Right now, I'm just using the free tracks that YouTube offers. All those tracks you hear, like YouTube offers them for free. And I gotta admit, like for free tracks, they sound pretty good, man. They sound pretty good. I would take some protein, but I had a protein shake before the stream. Oh, I can feel myself actually sweating a little bit though after that. That was fun though. That was fun. I was a little built up there, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. You're saying Jason Ronald is reportedly not heading the next Xbox. It's the Surface team. Yeah. Creatine. I struggle with creatine sometimes. Hold on. Boss is like, how dare you? How dare you do you lift without me? Boss is in here now. I struggle with creatine sometimes. I like taking creatine, but it does add a lot of bloat to like an uncomfortable degree sometimes. I definitely feel the strength increase. I feel more vascular. I definitely notice a size increase, but it gives me headaches, man. Like that's my thing. Every time I take creatine, I just get headaches from it. I try my best to stay as hydrated as I can. Boss is telling me to work out more. I don't think so, boss. I think that's it for now. Am I watching the Super Bowl today? I plan to, yeah. Can't take the cheap stuff. I think I have a good brand. It's from Animal. They're pretty I think they're pretty reputable as far as I'm aware. Believe it or not, guys, we do have one more topic I didn't talk about, which was the Switch 2 rumors. Sometimes you just got to get a, an intense workout in between the topics and go kind of nuts. But all right. Sorry, I'm almost done catching my breath here. What's your dosage? Should be no more than 5 grams a day. Yeah, that's what I take when I do take it, 5 grams. I know there are people that say you should load up on creatine, 20, 25 grams a day. I could never do that. Oh my God, that sounds like it makes me so sick. What do I think about the specs? If you're talking about the next Xbox, I don't think the specs were discussed as far as I'm aware. I did have a topic where I wanted to talk about the PlayStation 6, but boss, man, you gotta stop. I'm sorry. Like, you can be in here. You can't chew my mic. You can't chew my mic. You can't. No mic. No mic. No mic, boy. Let's go. No mic. No microphone for you. First it was my wires. Now it's just my microphone. All right, so we do have one more topic, believe it or not, to talk about. I mentioned earlier a couple topics regarding Final Fantasy and Stellar Blade. If I'm feeling up to it, before I end the stream, I'll mention I'll go over those topics quickly, just as some kind of bonus topics towards the end. But if I don't, I'll have them for a video for you tomorrow. But I wanted to go over some of the Switch 2 rumors. I feel like these are important to go over because there's a chance that the Switch 2 may be the only serious competing console. It's hard to tell what Microsoft's going to do with their console, but the Switch 2 is coming very soon. And all right, let's see. So the first one here is from Necrolipe or Necrolipe. Apparently, Switch 2 will have physical and digital backwards compatibility. Developers will have access to enhanced Switch 1 games. One of the topics of greatest doubt among current Nintendo consumers and even enthusiasts curious about the next hardware is the question of compatibility with current Nintendo Switch games on this new console. Awaited as a potential 2024 release by Nintendo, the next system could come with the encouraging news that it will feature this physical in cartridges, obviously it's just translated, and digital backwards compatibility not only available to players and producers, but would also allow developers to study improvements for the current titles in the Nintendo Switch library. This information was shared by PH Brazil during the most recent episode of the podcast for Pokemon franchise, as traditionally happens every year. PH Brazil is currently a content creator and also a games journalist who has already brought a lot of information about Nintendo's or partners' movements in advance and with precision in the past. So that's good. Is that surprising to anybody? I feel like maybe it is a little bit. I've seen some people saying maybe they won't be backwards compatible, but I think that's huge. If that's, to me, that's something that Nintendo would absolutely have to do to ensure the immediate success of the Switch 2. We have Titus with a super chat, and he says, I loved your streams before, but since Boss is the main character most of the time, and when you do so many workouts, the streams are just pure fun. Well, I'm glad you enjoy them, man. I try my best to balance it. I know it's not for everybody, but I try my best to make sure that the bulk of the conversation is about the topics that people want to come in and hear me discuss. But I try to, try to have a little bit of fun with it when I can, without getting too outrageous. Boss looks pissed. He's looking majestic, I think. But yes, he does look a little bit pissed. Man, he's looking big today. Beast. So that's the first rumor. But Titus, I appreciate that, buddy. That's the first rumor I wanted to share with you guys about the Switch 2. There's another rumor. Let me see. So sorry, there's a bunch here. Where did it go? Okay, yeah, so there's another report from Reuters, I think that's what they're called. The next Nintendo Switch console is expected this year to feature a custom NVIDIA chip. Nintendo's current Switch handheld console already includes NVIDIA's Tegra X1 chip. A new version of the Switch console is expected this year and is likely to include an NVIDIA custom design. This is what one source has told them. Nintendo declined to comment. So that is not necessarily surprising either, but there was another rumor here, and to me this was possibly the most interesting one. I don't know why it's buried. So the Switch 2 is apparently going to be revealed in March. So this is from the Game & Talk podcast. Quote, Nintendo will announce the Switch 2 in March. Everything I'm hearing dating back to Gamescom last year has indicated something was happening in March. That talk has resurfaced in the past few weeks and is indicating that the Switch 2 is set for the reveal or an announcement in March. He also mentions his partner Direct as informed speculation, as well as the idea of no Joy-Cons again. So what are you guys thinking? Like, how? Here's the question I have about the Switch 2. Obviously, I don't think that it's a surprise to anybody that's going to have backwards compatibility. It's just, I think, reassuring. It's not a surprise that it's going to feature, custom NVIDIA chip. I feel like that's been reported for a while. Maybe it's a little bit, not a surprise, but just good to know, like, oh, okay, the reveal is happening in March, apparently, so very soon. The question I have is, what is the third-party support for the Switch 2 going to look like? What are you guys expecting? Are you expecting when Switch 2 is revealed for there to be a ton of third-party support, like way more than we've seen in a long time, even going back to like the Wii U, like more, the Switch has obviously had good third-party support, but certainly more than the Wii U, more than the Switch, or are we expecting it to be about the same at first? Are we going to get brand new AAA game reveals from third parties that are going to be revealed alongside the Switch 2? These are the questions I'm curious to get answers to. Because I think it's safe to say Nintendo's going to come out with some really strong first-party support. I don't think anybody doubts that. I think the form factor is probably going to be the same. I could see the Switch 2 having the exact same form factor as the Switch 1, but just bigger. If the Switch 2 can get to PS4 performance, that will put pressure on Sony to answer. I agree with that. That's what I'm thinking. If the Switch 2 is if it's gonna sell really well, which I think it is, and it has PS4 level of performance, I think you're gonna see third-party devs just like jump, man. Like, we gotta like port our games now. You're talking the entire PS4, Xbox One, and all games that came out during that generation, that entire library. Yeah, I imagine devs are going to be super eager. But the good news is, apparently, Sony is working on a handheld, a dedicated PlayStation handheld that will run PS4 games. So I think Sony is prepared for this, dude. I think Sony saw this coming, and they wanted to time it where we want to, if the Switch 2 is going to have PS4 level of performance, that means Nintendo could potentially not potentially, they will use that as a selling point. They won't say it that way, but it's like, yeah, we can play, like Gen 8, it was Gen 8, I think. Gen 8 games on this console. So you can expect a lot of third-party support there. And I think if Sony wants to make sure that they can kind of deter that or remain competitive in that area, I think they're going to have to do that. Because it's just going to be I think it was always just a matter of time until Sony made a dedicated handheld that could at least play PS4 games. Because if the Switch 2 is going to start being able to say, like, yeah, we can play you know, I'm trying to think of just, I don't know why my brain's fried. Just guys, just throw out some. Hold on. Just throw out some random games from the PS4 gen, third-party games. Just throw out some random games. And in any games you throw out, just imagine Nintendo will be able to say, yeah, you could play that on the go. I mean, to be fair, I guess, of course, the Steam Deck could already kind of do it. Like GTA 5, Call of Duty, yeah. The Steam Deck, Alien Isolation, Steam Deck could already do that, but the main selling point is like, not only can our handheld console do that, but you get our exclusives too. Sony of course, Sony's going to have to answer to that, I think. Sony's going to have to offer a handheld of their own saying, yeah, we can offer all those games too, but you get our exclusives as well. So I guess what I'm saying is it seems like between the Nintendo Switch 2 with the Nintendo Switch 2 and, the Steam Deck, I think both of these consoles combined, these handheld consoles, are going to basically force Sony into this market again, which I think is good. But yeah, I'll be really interested to pay attention to the Switch 2 reveal when it happens, because I think it's going to be a big deal. Sorry, guys. Red Dead Redemption 2, yeah. But yeah, I had to be sure to talk about this because the rumor mill regarding the Switch 2 is really beginning to heat up, and it seems very clear to me that it's going to be revealed in the next month or two. I think it'll be $400. I think that's the rumor for the price. Let me go over these other topics really quick. I wanted to cover this one because I complained to you guys about this. This is reported by WCCF Tech. The Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playable demo comes with some evident visual issues, especially in performance mode. But it seems like the low resolution is not what is causing everything to look so blurry. Commenting on the demo's visual issues on X/Twitter, Digital Foundry's John Linneman said that the game had some pretty surprising and serious issues, alongside with some Unreal Engine 4 baggage. The second entry in the trilogy suffers from strange design choices regarding how assets are jammed together. I will say, there was a lot of pop-in. I noticed. I forgot to mention this. When I played the Final Fantasy VII demo in performance mode, there was like a noticeable amount of pop-in. Novinzer, really quick, got to give a big shout out to Novinzer. He decides to become a channel member here. Welcome to Greatness Awaits, Novinzer. Thank you so much for that. He brings us up to 103 members on the day. Good stuff, man. Look forward to your exclusive perks. Look forward to the members lounge. At the very least, if we can't play Helldivers because the servers are down, I hope they'll be up, we'll at least have a regular members lounge and chat. But hopefully the servers will be up. So Novinzer, thank you so much for that, man. This article continues, though. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to... Got too much stuff here. Interestingly enough, the blurriness of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo visuals is not caused by low resolution or by a dynamic resolution range that dips down too much. According to John Linneman, the game runs at 1440p resolution in performance mode, and the blurriness is caused by post-processing at 1/4 of that resolution. Given how big it is, this seems like a major oversight, so hopefully something will be done before the game launches later this month. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shut the fuck up with that ad. What the hell? Yo, what the hell was that? Those ads are supposed to be muted. Some bullshit, man. Now they're just trying to straight up force play ads. I don't think you guys heard that, luckily. Hold on, let me check. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. Good thing you guys didn't hear that shit. Because I have my my desktop audio muted. I thought that came through. That was so random. It just like, I hate when ads that are popping up like they're supposed to be muted, they just play. But yeah, this to me was something that I definitely had to cover because I noticed I could not play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the demo, in performance mode because it just looked too blurry. It just looked like shit, I'll be honest. Like, it did not look anything like it should have. And I'm glad to know that's like, it's seemingly a bug that they're going to have to iron out because it's rendering it 1/4 the resolution it's supposed to. 1/4, not even half. So, really glad to hear that. I'm assuming they will have that fixed. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn on my PlayStation and check to see if the servers are working. Do not give your friend code yet. Okay, don't do anything like that yet. I'm just going to make sure the game is up and running so I know what we're going to do for the members lounge. So give me a second. Oh. God. And if the servers are back up and running, I'll probably bring this stream to an end and then we'll move over there. Let's see. My monitor's taking forever to turn on for some reason. I think I have everything connected. Everything is connected the right way. I don't know why it's not. Wait. There we are. Okay. All right. I'm going on Helldivers 2 now. I'm going to check to see. MBG Outcast, A New Beginning. Demo on the 14th. Oh, yeah. The servers are definitely down. Failed to connect to server. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. This would happen, man. The one time I'm like, I'm going to game with my members. I'll give it a little bit longer. I'll give it my question, how long have the servers been down? I got to research this now. I got to go check Arrowhead. See if they've commented on this. Surely they have. Maybe not. I don't see anything from them. Damn it. Let me check the Helldivers 2 Twitter. Attention recruits, we are now performing a live server maintenance. Okay. So that's why the servers are down. During this maintenance, we expect there to be a larger disruption to servers for a limited period of time. That was posted 2 hours ago. So they don't give an ETA on when it's gonna... I hate to see this happen, man. I really do. Well, all right, here's what we'll do. All right, question. Just as a backup, how many people have Dead by Daylight installed? Nah, I feel like I can't do that, man. I feel like the first game we play has to be Helldivers. I'll just hang with you guys for a little bit longer. Jake Skew does. Wait for tomorrow. I might have no choice. Although I don't know if I'll be able to tomorrow. It might have to happen Tuesday. Smurf for the win's like, foam stars! Deadpool 3's trailer's coming out at around 6 p.m. Eastern. Good shit. Yeah, I'm curious to see it. They said about 2 hours. Okay, so that was like 2 hours. So maybe it'll be done soon. Maybe it'll be done at 4. Suicide Squad, the game died. Did it? I'm not surprised. I know people are really down on Marvel, and frankly, I haven't cared that much about Marvel in a long time, but I'm definitely excited to see Hugh Jackman reprise his role as Wolverine. Deadpool 3 is probably the only thing I'm actually excited for. Big L for Rocksteady. Absolutely. I'm playing Helldivers as we speak. I don't know what service he's on. I'll keep checking. DJ Bruntmeyer, you're saying, what about the PlayStation 6 stuff you were going to talk about if you had the time? Okay, yeah, I could bring that up real quick. So I did talk about this in a video. Like if you want all of the details, definitely check out my video on it, but I'll be pretty quick about it. Essentially, the rumor comes from Red Gaming Tech, and his sources tell him that Sony is now starting to get serious about developing the PlayStation 6. They're targeting a 2028 launch, and the reason why is because they want to ensure they have the most powerful console no matter what. Like internally, apparently that's what Sony's going for. They want the most power, and they're going to do what they need to do and give it the time necessary. Like they really, like it seems like they want to actually make sure that this is like my read on it. If they're willing to wait till 2028, it's because they want to make damn sure that the PS6 comes off as a true next-gen console. Yeah, and they want it to be like RDNA 6 or something like that. And so there's going to be a huge emphasis on ray tracing, path tracing, machine learning, and AI, specifically AI for NPCs. Apparently, the goal is to get AI for NPCs to a point where you can just literally talk. Like, I guess the microphone on your controller, like you can have a like genuine conversation with an NPC. That sounds absolutely insane. And that does sound next gen. Hold on, guys. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty early to be taking anything seriously, to be taking these rumors seriously about the PlayStation 6. Like it's believable to me. But I have no doubt Mark Cerny is going to try to like go crazy. I'm just going to sit here and keep pressing X. You trust PlayStation? Yeah, it's so stupid, man. Like, just not to continue to complain about Twitter. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing that, but even on Twitter, like, dude, I was just reporting the rumor. And you get these assholes. They have such a stick up their ass, dude, about me or with me. Where like, oh, I guess power matters now, huh? Like, no, dipshit. I'm reporting the rumor. Like, I don't care about power. I've made that clear. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure no matter what the PlayStation 6 ends up being, it's going to be an awesome console. Like, it doesn't really matter how powerful it is. If Sony wants to go crazy about power, go for it. As long as it's, a reasonable price. But these people are fucking insufferable, dude. They're insufferable. Well, because power matters now. I guess it doesn't matter to you now, does it? Maybe they should be asking that question. Absolute fools out here, man. Now it's just stuck. Saying defrosting Helldiver. Let's see. So at this point, if I manage to get into Helldivers 2, at this point, any member of mine on the channel here that manages to get in with me, like that, you're going to have to go through the filter of the servers, bro. I'm not even going to be the filter. The game itself is going to be the filter. Yeah, there was that rumor about Bloodborne Remake being in early production for PlayStation 6. That makes too much sense. You're in Helldivers 2 right now? Dude, I'm trying. It's not letting me. I'm trying to get in. You doubt the Bloodborne? I mean, I don't know. To me, it may... I think Sony... Like, think about it, man. Sony's smart, dude. They're like, what's the easiest way to sell PlayStation 6? Bloodborne Remake. Shouldn't we use that for the PS5? No, we're already selling them. Exley says, whoever wants to play some Helldivers with me, my name is Spotted Badger. All right, let me close the game and try it again. Damn it, man. I was really looking forward to this. Sony's like, Bloodborne never happened. Pretty much. Rich Rod 908 says, just got in. What did I miss? You missed everything. Right now, I'm just trying to connect to the Helldivers 2 servers. So right now, you're not really missing much. I'm just kind of hanging with the chat. I don't want to move into the members lounge yet until I figure out what's going on here. I don't know. Something I could do, what I could do is I could end this stream soon in a couple minutes and just take a little break. Oh, I got in. I got in. Okay. Now I'm just afraid I'm going to get immediately disconnected. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to end this stream. And so I just want to say, if you are a channel member, please join me in the members lounge. That's about to go up in a couple minutes. I'm going to attempt to play with some of my members. And I just want to give you the reminder, I'm not going to be able to play with all of you. In fact, I'm only going to be able to play with a very few select people here, okay? Because that's just the nature of this game. But either way, come watch us. It should be fun. And yeah, so I'm going to bring this stream to an end. Want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to everybody who tuned in. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button for me. We're at 425 likes. Let's see if we can get to 450. And also want to thank everybody who gifted memberships. We're ending at 103 memberships today, which is incredible. Thank you so much for all of your support. Seriously, I can only do this thanks to you guys. And also a shout out to everybody who donated super chats. Some of you guys very generous with the super chats as well. Means the world to me. So thank you guys. And I also want to give a big shout out to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. Thank you so much for that. And so with that being said, I'm going to end this. Wait, hello, Michael Warneth came in. Michael, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, buddy. But you got it. You got to know, you've conditioned me. I blame you, Michael. You've conditioned me. When I see you come in and say hello, everyone, I feel like I got to hold on a minute. Oh, wait, I just realized my desk. You guys, I'm like sitting here listening to the ad that's playing and on inside of Helldivers 2. And I'm like, you guys can hear that shit right now, but you can't. But Michael, I was just letting everybody know that we're going to be heading over to the members lounge momentarily, where we're going to play some Helldivers 2. And I'm going to try to play with some members. You're saying it's okay. I bet Too much money on the Super Bowl. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. I don't think I could ever do that. That's too stressful. That's way too stressful for me, bro. All right. I was just making sure because I was literally about to hit the end button on the stream. I'm just making sure. We're good. We're good. All right. So, guys, the members lounge is going up in like 2 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to see you guys over there. We're going to play some Helldivers. Should be a good time. And thank you for all the support. So with that being said, I will catch you guys over there. And to anybody who's not going to be joining, I'll catch you guys in the next proper stream. So take care, everyone. See you in a couple minutes.